for the good and the bad. We're supposed to thank him for all things. And no matter the struggle, we need to keep that prize in mind. And the prize is the gospel. It's the resurrection and the birth of the new body, ourself, the denial of self and the denial of this life, and to serve him and not to serve ourself, idolatry. And he divorced his bride for that same and going after other gods. It's simple. It's not rocket science. So we must love him and serve him. Our purpose is to serve, not ourselves. So, Father, I hope that this service of this flesh is not of my own, and that my will is not of my own. That is idolatry, self-will, to serve and distribute lies or fortunes to self. So, you died, and all your apostles died a martyr's death. And it's not physical now, it's spiritual. So let us not fall for the physical, brothers and sisters, especially when times get tough. It's what really defines a man or a woman, is what we do in those times under pressure. Puts us through the fire and see if we'll break. Expose our weaknesses. Push them out of us. Like clay. Can't put it into the fire with impurities or air pockets, it'll break. So you must beat those impurities out of us. And that's what being rebuked does to us. Rebuke self. He said, who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves. Take up your cross. It's to be crucified for not going by the law as he was. Conform to my image. As he said, he predestined those that would conform to his image. He already chose them, already bought them. Who shall ever be my disciple? To be a disciple of Christ, you have to be doing his commandments. You have to love him. 2 John 6, walk and follow in his commandments. He commands us to take up our cross through his apostle Matthew, through his apostle Luke. Who shall ever be my disciple? So if you want a kingdom and a treasure after you leave this earth, that better be your prize. You want to be with him and reign as a king? Then he says, no man steal your crown, because he's the one who holds that scepter, that inheritance to the church, the one that wears the crown, the king. Leo, the lion from the tribe of Judah. Disney mocks him and calls him Lion King, but that is Shiloh. For those that have celestial eyes and understand what the wise men, they were the Magi. They gave 3 gifts. There were not 3 wise men or 3. They were the Magi, but they were wise because they were looking up for the Redeemer. The one who said he would come first, he came in the stars and was birthed in the flesh the second time in the firmament. 12, the apocalypse of John. 13, the second great sign in the firmament. All these celestial markers for those that have celestial eyes. So they're being wise and girded in his service when he returns. That's what he said. Those are his words. I want to find your lamps trimmed, burning bright when I return with your loins. What are you doing? Where's your purpose here? Who are you serving? Who's your master? He says you cannot serve 2 masters. You cannot serve Mammon and God. That is the Shem. Mammon. People follow, that's their Shem, idolatry. They follow after self. Mammon laws, not the laws of the land. So it's a difficult day out here, just being hung out here in the desert under pressure, being put through the fire, not knowing what's going on with my son, just beating the snot out of him. Not imagine being unknown what's happening. Am I going to go to jail for 5 years, or is this going to stop? How many times do I got to keep doing this over and over? So, okay, guys. Thank you, Father, for difficult. Difficult is the path, straight. Narrow is the path, straight is the gate that leads to eternal life. Who shall ever follow after me? Let them deny themselves, take up their cross daily, and follow after me. You must endure to the end to be saved. He already bought you, picked up, purchased. Possession is redemption. Only those he chose will go through that narrowing of self, enter through that straight gate. So difficult is the path. and straight is the gate. And oligos, as he says in the book of Luke, fear not, little teeny tiny oligos, puny flock. God's kingdom is chosen, or he already predestined them to pull them from their sin, from their corrupt dust of this earth. The only I am is sovereign. So what I'm doing out here is not being above the law. I'm applying natural law, God's law, providing a sanctuary so they can't put him in a prison. They've already one time kidnapped him. I don't know how he can't be broken. You know, my heart is broken having to see him go through this. I know it's God, so there's a bigger cause, and that's what this is about. Exposing this corruption. I have my land. I had my landowner that I bought this land from say that yesterday. They're bullies out here. People are afraid of them out here, guys. People are afraid of this law enforcement. I've called for the head sheriff, the elected sheriff, for over a year. I have police documentation. They have an arrest warrant for Elijah's arrest, and yet I can't get the police, the elected Michael Taylor, who have called out because he won't make one call to me to have any resolution, instead of Sam, who he sent out already to my house. Imagine that I called non-emergency line and requested probably 30 times, 40, I don't know, to have one call from the elected sheriff because I had $20,000 worth of stuff stolen to me. I think that Tom, the elected sheriff's involved with this murder. It didn't turn out to be murder, but it was theft, and he facilitated. The corruption is in his county, but he don't want to have one call. One call, never called me, the elected sheriff. I've been trying to have communication, but they don't want to talk. And they have made it obvious in this case. So this is much larger. Absolutely. My son is being targeted. He's had to made to do twice as much. So we're going to put it on for record. I've obtained legal counsel and spoke with John Kaligo, who I told him I would. I've communicated and communicated. They said they're watching the live streams. The sheriff was sitting out there at the end of the driveway, a day or two ago, flashing his lights, because that's how they said they contacted. Oh, well, your son's out there and you got him in the desert, and is he okay? We saw you live streaming. But they don't want to look at all this mountains of evidence that's piled against him. So now it's bigger than that. If I have my way, I'm going to sweep every law enforcement officer out of here and every parole officer, and we're going to expose that the digital, non-digital, no, they don't have anything. It's all analog. It's all written, and that's what absolutely destroys people's ability to. He said, this guy's in a nonprofit. He writes your hours down. Oh, hit this one. Keep track of it yourself. They ping pong these people between sheriff's office and probations. It is the worst cluster, you know what, I've ever seen in my entire life. There's no way I shouldn't be able to go in an exact moment and tell me why a parolee or a probationary, or just like the blockchain, okay, should all be digitally tracked and traced. I should be able to say they went to this nonprofit, they checked out of this, no upping and downing of hours and all. It's exact. I can pull back in instant and say, I need 100 action plans and pull up and let's see what these averages are. And we'll do an algorithm. We'll pull out, like in Elijah's case, they sprung, 133 hours on him in the last 3 months of he'd already done it over here. You're not going to find. That's why we need this type of system. They got nothing like that in place. It's all handwritten and they can't keep track of nothing. But I have emails, and now I have my attorney who has gone to the sheriff's office and looked it through and got through any information that they have. And their information is disgustingly filthy. I'm going to focus my son. He's very stressed out right now, guys. I mean, imagine not whether you're going to go to prison or you're going to get to be with your wife, or, his crazy dad who's taking him, and I won't let him go be thrown into prison. He's already been kidnapped once by the system. And if I have the evidence to prove that he should have never gone the first time, why in the hell do you think I'd ever give him up? You don't believe that I will and won't stand in front of I ran Mr. Bean the hell out of here because he's a failure. And he didn't even care about Elijah's wife. Not even one time did he ask. He mentioned, but never asked about her safety. The state drove by here and drove on my property they drove on my property. I was peaceful coming by, never even asked. And I'm sitting there with a call. All I've requested is calls. For years, Crescia Brunsman, I have called Lane County. That is the head of probation, who I have an email showing he only has 30 hours left balance. But in their current system, he owes 55 and he has 55 already. He had already submitted. I've already made him send this stuff to the attorney, guys. They have stepped on their dick big time, but it's over that now. It's bigger than that. The problem that Elijah is having is I've been exposing Sheriff, Tom. He's heavily involved out here with the airport and been known to hang out at the Met dealer's house. I've already said it, guys. You're crazy, Tracy, to sit there and be taking on what you're taking. But this has got to be a bigger cause, brothers and sisters. This can't be about me. This whole analog probation system is the worst thing I've ever seen. And I know that if we could, there's too many hours. I'm going to get my son through this documentation. They stole at least a couple years of his life. He made a mistake. He got involved with a property crime. This is where it goes, guys. Go back and watch all the live streams. They run rats in this county. They have more people in this county that the county gets paid for because it's the poorest county. They have more rapists, pedophiles, murderers. All these people are released in this county on contract. I expose their racket out here, and they don't like me. And they won't talk to me. I can't get one call from Sheriff Michael Taylor. If I know this is going on, why would the elected sheriff call me? Not one. I've got probably 30 calls requesting him to come get this $20,000 worth of stuff that Tom was, I found out he facilitated, and Tom was talking to the murdered lady all along. I'm telling you, this lady's murdered. This lady's murdered. I know where she's at. And then actually she was alive, but she left because she's scared of these people too. She wouldn't even come back and get her things, guys, to this county. She don't want nothing. These people, I have the real estate and guy out here, been out here for 15 plus years saying that these people are scared of these guys. I'm staring down the barrel of a loaded gun, guys. These people are known for being corrupt. That's what this I need the news out here now. I've been standing out. I think this is day 9, not a standoff, but a stand up. They're driving by. They know I'm peaceful. They just called. Yeah, I'm calling out these corrupt cops. You're going to call me a snitch for calling out the law for being, these people are supposed to be. Look at this idiot, all in capital letters. Stop being a child and screaming, okay? Only my moderators are allowed to speak in all caps. You're removed. Anytime you speak in all caps, you'll be removed from the chat. Seriously, I leave that to my moderators, brothers and sisters, because I have some excellent moderators. So it's just a thing. Come on. You can type all in cap. Do you want to get your point across? But we need to not. I only get to raise my voice in here. Yeah, you don't think so? You're not giving them to you. Stand down, Sam. Stand down. I'm in control of this. I'm in control of this situation out here. Go listen to the video. That's exactly what I told this sheriff out here. And then he went down to the end of the driveway, turned around and went down and then watched the live stream and was flashing his lights as he knew he was. This is criminal. This is a hit. This is a book. This is well, okay. You know what? It only matters to me, Peter. Peter. You got to rob Peter to pay Paul. Bye. I don't want to cast pearls before swine. Out of here. See ya. So anyways, brothers, sisters, this is a bigger cause. Exposing the fraud of the parole and probation department out here is very dangerous. Risk my life. I showed that I will for this cause. Will you please go look at that last video? It's called Invalid Arrest or Invalid Warrant. Please go look at that. It's about I think it's 3 minutes or something like that. You see what I'm talking about, guys. They know. They contacted me saying they know your son. They know he's here. They know he's here. I said he's here. So we're going to serve a bigger purpose. If I'm done, all people on probation, it'll all be digital or analog. It won't be no more analog. I don't believe in robbing people of their rights, but like my son, he was involved in a racket out here, got involved where they're rapists that they supported and came into this county after he raped high on methamphetamines a Hispanic woman in Texas. He raped her and robbed her and got a 25-year sentence and was released into Lake County to serve his remaining 12 years. Just one of these people that they run. through Lily Frank. I've requested so many calls. If my son did 1 day a week and he was on that color guard, we're going to P test, he didn't have a crime that was involving drugs. The real estate office was, the company just called the company that I've been buying this man for the property from 10 years. Oh, hey, I know they said, oh no, there's no methamphetamines over there. They don't know, I don't deal with that. I'm known, I don't like that crap. You do what you want in your own business, but keep that shit away from me. I don't want to see it. I don't like it. I never have. And I'm known for that. Maybe that's why the sheriff who runs it through the airports involved. See, guys, all that we need to do, guys, honestly, if we can get the news out here right now, because I'm past this now, it's bigger than that. You guys can go now. Anybody wants a journalist and knows a journalist, maybe a citizen or something, come out here. We'll get one, and I'm working. I have somebody right now trying to get through the local news station to come up here. It's getting bigger, guys. Every day it's growing, the mountains of evidence. They're either going to come bust down this doors. You know, I barricaded myself in here for my safety. I tried to go get my son's wife a shower, and then that turned into that incident. But it's okay. Nobody drove fast. The speed limit. Nobody broke any laws as far as I'm concerned. I brought my son back to this place where they're going to try to put him in where he can get ass raped by a man who can't keep his dick to himself. Yeah, that could happen. And these things happen, guys. The system's not perfect. Okay. So they called and said, this is not a drug place. And they didn't have anything. These guys could be calling Kresha Brunsman, calling Dan, Bud, as I called already, calling Lily, calling Travis, all these people to find out if Elijah did this hours and what he was. Instead, they're calling my landowner, guys, fishing for obviously some kind of violation of some code, which I'm not a corporation. I'll spit on it. I'll piss and crap on it, and I'll send it back to you. I don't go on dates with men. I'm not a corporation, so I don't follow mandates, just like during the vid, remember? Oh yeah, they got a history. They got to go through all my mountains of social media, all my platforms. So this is not anything this county can afford, guys. They can't afford this case anymore. They need to stand down, man. I have the evidence. Okay, Elijah, my attorney, had 55 hours that they couldn't account for. I'm pretty certain Dan Budd, who I've called, did you submit Elijah's 55 hours that he has? This shouldn't be happening. He already did the hours here before he left. That can be proven as well. So I'm going to try to get him through the 55 and get him off of this. And then we're going to go after all these people for all this double jeopardy that they put him through. Double jeopardy. There were 5 men, one that rapist that runs through Lily and Tom and the probation department that made Elijah on color guard do it at least 1 day a week before he ever left here for 5 months. So that's at least 160 hours. We just had the attorney said he had 160, not 180. We've been doing the math, brothers and sisters. We're like, whoa, but I just told Elijah, let's focus on the 55. You have those hours working with your lady. She went to work not only to support a full-time job, but then gave her time. I thought the lady, I got it all wrong, guys. I apologize. These last live streams, I thought she's just kind of hanging out, working with. No, she was giving her time and signing in to a nonprofit organization. Stand down, Lake County. Stand down. Why do you keep doing this? Not one call. I called the district attorney. I've called Frank Greer, or Mr. I don't know what his name. I don't want to call him Mr. Greer, the gentleman, the head of probation here. He will not call me. Lily will not call me. I called the district attorney. He won't call me. I told you I've been trying to get the elected sheriff out here for more than a year to come to my house. And if you send some of those deputies to my house, I'll make them look like fools. They're just deputies. They don't have an authority over a man of the land and soil. I told you, go look at my video. I haven't put it over here. It's on TikTok still. They took down that channel after the First Amendment audit. I said, guys, I requested they don't send deputies, and they did. And now that's the one who came down. This is out of control. This is going to turn out to one of the best movie action thrillers, suspense. You wouldn't even believe it. It feel like no sci-fi, no such thing. And a teacher, a man of God, more than anything, brothers and sisters. There are so many stories to be told out here because the people are scared. They're jackboot thugs. You can't do anything about it. Shut up. It's an analog system. You're on probation. Quit interrupting me. I am the authority. They make these people feel like they're dog shit, guys. I apologize, Father. I've been warned a little bit, guys. I'm trying. I don't want them to break my son. What I seen in my son today when we tried to have this discussion, guys, it's just not, he's just, you know, on his face. He just can't, it's so hard not knowing. He's got his wife out here and he knows he's done twice the hours and he don't know what to do. He's freaking confused. You're not going to ruin my son, system. I will protect him. I told you, if you don't want to see actual physical evidence, I will stand in front of a bullet for my son. I will stand in front of this whole city, this whole county, this whole state. They drove by my fucking house and they couldn't even check on his fucking wife to see if she was okay. Never once has anybody asked if she's okay. And now she's lost her job over this. Enough! I'm not going to stand down. You stand down now. Give this man his papers. Let him free. You have enslaved him. That's why I'm protecting you. You're not going to kidnap him again. He doesn't want to be caged up again. He doesn't deserve. There were 5 men, a rapist, and they never put him in jail. 5 men involved in a property crime. Not a violent crime, but a property crime run by their rat, by Tom and Lily. That's why he's suffering, guys, because of his dad. Because his dad doesn't stop. He doesn't know when to stop, and I'm not going to stop until you give this man his freedom back, that you can't make him do it twice, and you did. You owe him. This ain't about you took his life, and his wife, Lane County called his wife a slut. The woman who put in time after working a full-time job that has just lost her job to go donate 7 fucking days a week, and you're going to call her a slut? I've never seen her ankle or her collarbone. Defamation of character, brothers and sisters. Please help me get on the news. I can't. This has got to go now. This will be picked up, guys. You start getting news out here. You just heard. It's all evidence. They can't afford this case anymore, brothers and sisters. They better stand down. I've got my son 55 hours. This is from my attorney, so I don't care what he did before. We're going to get these 55 accounted for, and then he's going to get released, and then we're going after all these people. I told Dan Budd this morning, call this man and tell, I'll give you as many, I'll find out. He was already expired. They're dragging their feet. They do this on purpose because everything's written pretty much. There's no account. Everything should be not digital. There is fraud and massive probation all around the United States of America because it's analog. It's not digital. This is how these people get fucked. Hardcore. I apologize, Father, but I am trying to just stand not for me, not for my son, but all these other people that have been screwed, that are afraid of this county. Come out here, news. Somebody share this out, guys. Once this goes, and I've been standing up 9 days, gates shown, go look at the evidence, the mountains of evidence of what. Father, this is all by your hand. We know that. This is just emotion, brothers and sisters. I'm worried about my son. They're going to break him, and I don't want him to be broken. Both of them are in their mental, they're trying, guys, to keep it straight. All we've been trying to do is have some kind of normalcy. They want not one. Why is nobody calling me? How is it that I called the elected sheriff? Well, it's because you're exposing fraud and corruption in the police department, Tracy, and the probation, Tracy, and now your son has just had to pay the fucking price for it, man. They're going to get this what they deserve because of Father. If he even doesn't, that's what I keep trying to tell, and not my son. I keep trying to keep him alive, guys. He don't want to be here. He don't. Like I said, he's struggling, guys. These guys have been broken, man. Their lives have been taken from them. She works every day a full-time job, and then she goes and volunteers all her time with him now. So checkmate, guys. We got the 55. If there's a discrepancy, what about the hours? Lily, I have called Lily Frank. Lily's going to lose. I'm telling you guys, these people, they can't just keep running from the miles and piles of evidence. So if I get the news out here and people start organically asking these people, you're going to hear horror stories about this probation. You're going to hear horror stories about this. I can't get this sheriff, guys. I have a mountain of evidence to see that I've tried to open up a line of communication about all this. He's got to be in on it. Didn't you hear Sam, Birch say, I said, I need to expect the elected Sheriff Michael Taylor. No, you're not. Just like when I asked to speak with, Ted, the district. No, you don't get to talk. They cold cover for these people. Lily should be able to easily document that Elijah did at least one 8-hour. No, she was making him do more, guys. Color guard. They've left all these forgotten things. I was involved in this. I can show record that they can summons me pulling the county lake probation, me personally involved, making sure that all his hours were zeroed so he could leave the county. And now they got something in his thing. He left with this many hours request. I don't give a what they say. What they say, guys, let's just say what they say. I got Kresha Brunsman, the head of probation, who I told her to straighten all this clerical error out, which was because they didn't give Elijah community service hours like he's working for now for Food for Lane County nonprofit. They don't have that out here, guys. This is a little township. They get in the bus like a, prisoner or whatever, do work crew, and they do road crew. Elijah been put through all that, guys, been out to the There's too many, even if they pinged his phone, guys. That's what I'm saying. And God is watching, guys. I think that's the only thing that's protecting him from coming in here now is because it's all invalid. And God has made them stand down. But I don't know why I can't get the elected sheriff for at least now more than a year. And I tell them, don't send deputies to my house. And they show up like a bunch of bumbling retards. And I apologize, but I'm just they're like throttled down or something. Like I only have just a time. I apologize that that's the wrong, but like a carburetor advanced or not on TikTok, please. There goes the stream, Anyways, brothers, sisters, this is a bigger cause now. I'm not going to let my son go to prison. I have all the proof. I have all of the evidence, probably times 2. So what are these people going to do when this happens, guys? What's going to happen when we get this evidence? What's going to happen when it actually comes out that Elijah has done double time? 5, a rapist. I'm sorry, guys. Said he did and never said he did the crime. That's it. Revocation of parole going back to Texas. No, these 3 admitted to the crime. So did the rapist. My son's the only one that said they put, I don't know. My fingerprints won't be on these guns. I'm not, and they threw him in jail for nearly a year. 5 guys, and my son's the only one in equal justice. Go look at the record. They're going to have to summons all those twos. This is part of that case too, guys. Can't forget that all this Lake County stand down. Remember, this isn't just me now documenting now the hundreds of hours. It's that case too, where this all involves your corruption. Don't you get it? The mountains and piles of evidence that I have. Even if we ping phone, this is going to have to go national, guys. They're either going to have to come shoot me because I'm not going to stop, and I don't want violence. Never once have I called. This isn't some Waco standoff. This is a stand up. We're standing up for the right of the people, and I'm literally endangering my son. And I'm trying not to by holding him in this county, but this is where this needs cleared up. This is where he did this is where they told him to go and turn himself in. But instead, I've already called Lane County and said, don't you dare issue that arrest warrant. You already kidnapped him once, and I won't let you do it again. Over a clerical error, he served road crew, and it says you don't recognize it as community service. Now you've added these 133 hours back to this. That's a bunch of crap. Lily Frank will have, guys, he was on a felony probation. They don't let them slide. They can't not show up. No. You guys, he did all the hours here, and now they've made him to do double. I don't know why this is happening. Only by the glory of God is my son not broken by this. He's been absolutely put indentured servant to the system, and they won't, even though he did all these hours, and I told him to make the call. I don't think you'll find the head of probation, Kresha Brunsman, who I now, again, you guys, look at this. Watch. I mean, this is so freaking criminal what they've done to him. Oh, darn it. Where'd that phone go? Guys, So many other phone calls. Oh, where we go? I place just where'd it go? Anyways, I put it up on the stream, guys. I had the head of probation runsman who I put and told her, don't do this to him. Just go look at the clerical error. We can get this figured out. And she didn't. Instead, she had an arrest warrant issued for him. Just like them doing anything right now. They're calling the owner of this land that I bought for like 10 years fishing. They said this isn't a meth lab. There's no drugs going on here. And I called my landowner and said, I apologize. I know what this is. This is about Elijah. I have him. We recorded the phone call and put it on live so that you can hear what he said. And he said that the people in this community, he's dealt with a lot of people, guys. He sells land, are scared of the police and the enforcers out here. They're fearing. That comes from somebody who is heavily invested too in a real estate. So if that's not enough proof that I am staring down the barrel of a loaded gun and I'm trying to protect my son from these thugs, they're literal thugs. I mean, I don't know, whatever. I told you, they don't. Thank you for whoever donated, guys. I want to just say I've had to obtain legal counsel, so anything will help, guys. I don't know. Bless you, sister. Thank you, guys. I don't want to do this. I'm trying to do this without any more. If they'll just go, that's what I'm saying, guys. Think about it. He did it here. I was involved. I can call Lake County Probation Department saying, hey, this is his dad. I'm involved. We've spoken to the attorney. We want to make sure that he doesn't have it. Yeah, hold on. Yes, there's no, I need you to check. I need you to go to the back. I know I've been involved in the whole case back here. Remember back here? I want my son to have equal justice. What the fuck is this guy, a rapist? And he's out and you got my son in there. He's a rapist. Anytime a rapist admits to a crime and convicted, they wouldn't convict him. They just arrest, put charge, but they won't convict them. They got to get these people to take plea agreements, and then they let it all in the system. See, guys? One rapist got the last time it took me throwing myself in front of the said, I'll take that man's life. I don't care. He's a freaking rapist, and he's been allowed to run roughshod through the probation department. He's a menace to this community, and he tells lies. Every time he tells somebody what he was convicted of, it's a different story. This community is vulnerable, and I've told the police about this rapist, and they're aware because he's in his system. They won't arrest him because it's all about the mighty dollar. Well, guess what? If I take him, then you'll lose your money anyways. Checkmate. What do you want to do? Come get me or go get hit? What do you want? Call my attorney, brothers and sisters, John. This will be a recorded phone call as well, Lake County. Forget how I have it. I've been willing to throw myself in front of this for years. You've got to stop running from the evidence, and you need to stand down and give this man his life back. You still now are going to face, I'm going to sweep all you out of here. My heart was a little bit crushed today. I told my son, and the other day, he's like, we're going to stay here. And today he's like, I don't know, Dad, my heart was broken because I want to sweep them out of here, guys. I'm not going to run away from these people. I'm not afraid of them. They're just men, women, whatever they want. They're freaking thugs, heavily armed group of thugs, all wearing the same color, thin blue line, going around and harassing and extorting the general public. When I was in law enforcement, that was what the definition of a gang was. So does that sound like, yeah, a bunch of jackboot thugs? And I audit them too out here, guys. So they're quite pissed. That's the cover thing. That's me pointing at Tom saying, I reported a murder to you, Tom. I reported a murder to you, and you won't do anything about it, Tom. I know. We watch your live streams, Tracy. We've seen. See, that's what I'm saying. You guys are such neglect. So I called Lake County before I arrested my son, before they issued this illegal arrest warrant. And that's why I wouldn't let the county have him the other day when we tried to go get his girlfriend a shower. The whore, the police commissioner calls a whore in Lane County. The one that Kresha Brunsman, this whole... Guys, people have called from all over the world now to both of these police departments and been treated like just absolute filth. The one that, is this his whore wife calling or his slut wife? This lady went and volunteered 2 days a week after working 5 days a week and has now lost her job because of this, guys. She, I believe, is going to have a whole monster amount of lawsuits as well on this. And I'm not about money, guys, but there has to be some kind of accountability. I'm looking into Kresha Brunsman if she's bonded. I believe she's bonded, so I believe I can at least help them I've been in law enforcement. I'm very well. That's why I don't think they like me as well, because we have to stand up. The worst thing, and I don't really believe in good law enforcement, because they should be standing up for going, hey, wait a minute, guys. We're enforcing what is called capital letter law. Capital letter. This has been changed. You know, this birth certificate, whole social security card scam of the bond and the trick. It needs pointed out. That's what these thugs, and most of them don't even know what they're enforcing. So you'll see me audit them and tell, well, I'm not a corporation. That's why they can send their stupid violations of mandates, or I don't go on dates with men, so I don't follow that. That's not a law. An ordinance is not a law, and either is a code. So don't bring your code enforcers around on anybody's property, because they can legally be shot and deemed an intruder. See, I've educated this town out here, guys. They don't like that as well, on their rights to protect, because these are tyrants that want to come in and encroach on their rights. Their natural rights, not this capital letter, you know, corporation on the stock exchange where the people are too stupid to figure it out. And so these jackboot Tom and Sam and all, if you'll apply your rights, you'll see they'll back off. Stand down! I'm not giving them to you, Sam! I'm not giving them to you. I'm not going to let him have my son and let him get raped by some man who can't keep his dick to himself, because he's caught up in the system. And I'm not saying lucky enough to have somebody. It ain't luck. It's God doing it, right? Yeah, there's no such thing as luck. It's karma. I asked for my son to get equal justice. He did his time. That's why I think that man turned his police. Open up the door. It was like he was a statue. I'm getting the cat. I let the cat in the car, guys. I took the cat. Get over the fat. I wanted him to be safe. Get the cat. I put the cat in the back of the car. If I could be a cat. I'm sorry, Tora. I'm sorry, Tora. I let the cat in the car, guys. You don't leave no soldier behind, my people. I said people, guys. I didn't say, I said cat, but then I said, guys, it was in the moment. I went back and, yeah, I go to the car. The guy got to pull out and shot. He just still sat there. God, it wasn't me doing that. I just want you to know. And you see, I was overcome after that. All glory to God. Thank you, Father. He's leaving, you know, I don't know what's going on, guys. It's just, I was like, I'm already dead. And this is some kind of weird, something that anybody should never be involved with. It's just overly overlaid with my son. And now his wife is just suffering, guys, suffering. And that's, I know, that's why I know it's of God, guys. So hallelujah. It's not some kind of mistake. This is all going by the jots and the tittles. And I've tried to remind myself and my son that we need to continue to serve that higher purpose for him. This isn't about us. So we're part of this case law. I tried to remind him this morning, Elijah, come on, please, bud. This is about getting this exposed, guys. This isn't about us. I had to try to remind. I've seen the look in his wife, his girlfriend today. Is there, you know, it's been a hard day, guys, out here for us. What do we do? Where are we at? Now they've got the 50. Now we got the evidence of the 55, pretty much, give or take. And they're still not calling, and it is just a stalemate. Again, I called for Michael Taylor to call me for now years, and he won't make one phone. It's so corrupt out here, guys. The real estate agent said they're scared of these people. It's time, guys. This needs to go national. I don't want to do this. I don't want to get this involved. But how the hell am I going to save my son from these people coming in? And then one day, I don't know, they're calling my real estate, the person I bought the property from, instead of kind of call Lily or another. Guys, they just want to put holes in me and my son. They don't care about this, guys. It's blatantly obvious. So if you can help, I need you to call Lake and Lane County and tell them what you're being a witness to. Say, we know you're watching this. We know at least Lake County. You said you guys were watching this on the live stream, guys. When I pulled in, the officer pulled back around. When I told him to stand down and leave, he left and he went and parked at the end of the driveway. And he sat there as I'm on, like, because I'm live streaming. And I'm talking to him, and as I'm saying, are you on here? He's flashing his light. So I know they have a computer, guys. They got right on it. He went, turned around and got on the internet and watched me live. How is this? He's the one who called me and just wanted Elijah to come out and turn himself in. That's the only effort they've made, guys. Well, you got to do something for me. I got to do something from you. It's good cop, bad cop. My son knows I used to be in law enforcement, knows that game that they play. So he said, no, he didn't. Remember, he pleaded for, please don't come down this driveway with your guns. You know, they don't care. They just don't. So I know this is God. So if you want to be a part of this, please step in and Be not partakers of their unfruitful works of darkness, yet expose them, brothers and sisters. This is what we're supposed to do. Shine a light on this evil. Christ did this and lost his life for it, remember? He stood up to the law. We're supposed to conform to his, follow after me, endure to the end to be saved. Through much tribulation, we must go to be with the Father. This is what we have to do. We have to stand against the law. If this is what not some people don't, but see, you could stand and say, hey, birthdays, that's not a thing, and still get your cross. You don't have to do it. I'm fighting the frickin' state, the county, the elected sheriff who won't even call me. This is bigger, brothers and sisters. He's using me as a vessel. I'll probably die a martyr, but they can't take my soul, so I'm not worried about a man that can take my flesh. It ain't about that. I'm brothers and sisters, I've fallen for the flesh before, and I'm not all this. I have a past, and I've tried. It's like my son, he's tried to come out of this and deal with this, and God still throws a lot in both of our pasts. But I'm hoping that when this is done and he wrings us out and he lifts us up, it says the heavens and the earth will be shaken. He's the snare that lifts us out of here. That means you're going by your feet. You're going to be turned upside down, and everything, your treasure that you had, it would be, it's going to come out of your pockets. You can put it here on earth, or you can put it in heaven. And so I'm hoping that he does, when he pours out his just measure, that he knows my intentions. He knows what's in my son's heart. We both, I'm sure neither of us are perfect, but brothers and sisters, I made a mistake and I've done my time, and I'm perfect, not at all. I told you I made mistakes. Why I fight so hard. I'm a freaking veteran that served this beast system. And I served as one of these jackboot thug law enforcement officers that has enforced what is called capital letter law. Ignorant as I should have been. I'm a freaking veteran, a police officer. How would I not know the Constitution? How they've changed this way of enforcing man corporation. Well, that's why it's written in capital letters. There's something to that. You can contact your Secretary of State and say, hey, I'm not that straw man. You lose your Social Security, you lose all your benefits, but you're not part of that corporation called America anymore in capital letter laws. You guys, hold on. All right, just somebody coming down the road in a little pick-em-up truck. So, Narby, don't get too many people. It's crazy how they can't come make amends. Are you watching this? Can you believe that for more than a year, just because I'm a man that exposes corruption, they don't even want to settle and try to figure any of this out? All right, Tracy, well, there's obviously some corruption going on here, and we see it involved in your case, so we should look in it. What, are they going to police themselves, guys? All these people got to go, man. The whole system is broken. This is bigger than that now. So I'm not ending. I reminded my son that today. I said, son, I don't care what happens here. I'm not, even if whatever happens, I have to do this. It's service to self or service to others. This has to be bigger than you or me or her, your wife. I have to leave this behind, so to speak. This is about making sure that anybody who ever comes into the system this shouldn't happen, not in the age of 2024. Everything should be digitally tracked, and a simple Excel spreadsheet should be able to take care of the simplicity of some hours and this corporate. It's not advanced, guys, but using that blockchain type, where everything's tied and everything can be digitally tracked and traced. Why is it? It's all done analog by written paper, guys. It's criminal. And that's how my son is getting screwed, because they don't know how to count for hours. Their hours are everywhere, guys. I can show you so many hours. Kresha Brunsman said, the head of probation, on October 5th at 7:19 a.m. on 2023, she sent my son an email. Dear Mr. Werner, you have 23 hours completed. You have, where do they get that number from? You have a balance of 30 hours owed. 30 hours owed. That's from the head of probation. Now in the system, it comes up 55. See, he keeps doing more and more and more and more, and they won't give him up because they know they want me, guys. And he's a victim of the system, of his dad pushing. And I feel really bad the more that I really think about this, because he is. I mean, he made a mistake, but he paid us. But because his dad is who he is and won't just let him, be a victim of the system or anybody else, or that has always tried to serve a higher cause. Somebody don't go become a veteran just because they think that, I'm going to go save the world. Guys, come on. They told me to stop trying to think you can figure everything out. You have the answers and you can go out and save the world, Tracy. You need to worry about more than yourself and start worrying about everybody else. Hoorah, I'm going to join the military. You're not going to tell me, right? So I'm going to go save the world, be a hero, right? All that, idiocracy. But anyways, brothers and sisters, it's my nature. I've always been like that. I can't help who I am. God made me. I didn't make I'm the most, I don't think you can clone me. I've already said that to people. Good luck cloning me. You think you can get this spit out by some other, there's no such thing as artificial intelligence, brothers and sisters. Advanced, yes, but not artificial. You couldn't. It's just, I don't think you can clone me. So anyways, the one I'm just saying is there's not another person. I don't want to be like anybody else, brothers. Remember, that's what I said. I don't want a label and I don't want to be here, but I want to serve him. Make sure that when he rings me out, that I wasn't about me. It was about a bigger cause, service to others, service to self, idolatry, or service to others, agape. Walk in my command, go lay hands on the sick, the widow, to stand up to the law. They'll persecute you. They'll throw you in prison. Just stand up for my law. And I promise you, your kingdom will be in heaven. Your treasure will be awaiting you. This is the sacrifice you must make of the flesh to have the crown that I have promised you, the inheritance to rule. Maybe it'd be 5,000 feet tall. I don't know. The trees will probably be about 180,000, I figure, by my calculations. But who's doing the math? We're talking about simple freaking math, guys. He did 1 day a week in Lake County, where Lily made him do at least 2 many times. That's 160 hours 1 day a week. What about the 2? He already did his probation community service hours. This man has been made to do double. And he's had a woman where I know he's gotten frustrated that just understands him. Unequally yoked. My son went from Adriana from El Salvador to Adriana, guys. Sometimes I mess that name up and I love that girl. I took care of her. They were high school sweethearts and they had some issues, but this is a way better fit for him. They're equally yoked. I know why the father did that now. I love them both. And that's why I'm standing up for her too. She caught in the middle of this, guys. Her freaking husband is not being released from the system and already threw him in jail. She's already had to be away from him already once where they kidnapped him and be by herself. And I tried to help support that during that time. Make sure that they were still be able to have the communication right away. I don't want to cut the communication, throw some money on his books, make sure he's got some kind of something in there. He's not. So anyways, brother, not just one call or whatever, brothers, sisters, the system is corrupt and it's fraudulent. And with this analog system, this should have all been easily pulled out of a system. So we're going to do this. We got to do this for the world, brothers, sisters. Step in on this bigger cause right now. It's him doing it, but he's obviously having me, helping me as the vessel. He's steering this ship. He's just using me. So I'm not steering, just so you know. He's the wind and the sail here. I'm just the vessel, okay? So he's going to use me. It's just my life. My only purpose is to serve him, okay? So I have to worry about myself, and you're not going to break me. You're not. You understand? I'm stronger than I've ever been. You're supposed to get with those facets, brothers and sisters. I'm not telling you to shine above others, but every time you get licked like a diamond, a facet, a face, faceted, gives you another place to shine, brothers and sisters. Some of us have many facets, many been face licked by many times, but it just makes you more beautiful, doesn't it? You're supposed to be like wine. You're supposed to get better with age. He said, do not hurt the oil or the wine, brothers and sisters. This is our time. This is our time to shine, not above others, but do not hide that light. He's given me a gift I'm not deserving of. So how would I not serve him to give me this gift? He says, whoa, if I don't share it, correct? I don't spread it. Don't boast because I showed you this, Tracy, but whoa, oh, you got celestial eyes. Good for you. You better share it. I'll condemn you if you don't. I know my treasure awaits, brothers and sisters. Yes, it did. I believe so. I saw. Thank you, sister. That appreciate that. Anything's going to help, guys. And I'm hoping not to spend any more money, guys. If I can, I had to contact my attorney, so it's not free already, okay? I assured him this is not a freebie, John. You know, we're going to make sure whatever you, and he wants to get through the evidence. He piled it down to 55 hours, guys, is what their system says. So we can account. It's so crazy that I showed you on the stream that Adriana's, she's keeping track because she's got her hours too. After working a full-time job, she goes, donates her time to the county, and the police commissioner calls her a slut to that county, but she's donating her time to a nonprofit and signing in with Elijah. These hours aren't on his thing, guys. They didn't submit his hours, or if they did, they don't, because it was expired. You guys, the dude has done double time. Why is this county dragging its feet and not coming in here, not contacting me? Why has nobody called me? See what I'm saying? It's a bigger cause. If they'll just stand down and give this man his thing, we'll let the news handle you. How about that? I'll stand down, but I don't think the news is done with you. I'm not going to stop with probation, meaning, no, I didn't say I was going to stand down. I said I'm just going to live out here. But for the higher cause, not for everything, I'm going to make sure that we just got to go national, guys. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to interrupt. You know, that gets kind of invasive, but let's do this for the cause of everybody who's ever been on probation has ever made a mistake. All of us are filthy rags. The wages of sin is death. One of us. He covers us, brothers and sisters, for our sins. But it doesn't mean we won't be judged on them. But if you do the crime, you do the time. And Elijah has done the time. Out of 5 men, one of them, again, a rapist, didn't serve even a day. How in the hell is that? And he served nearly a year in this county. This is personal, guys. I think if somebody looked at this from the outside, from a different county in, if we get another outside source, and I hope you guys, there you are. Do you disagree that there's some kind of personal vendetta? Because I've always been a veteran and I expose the Trump administration, the Obama administration. I've been on this platform for, a decade or whatever. I've been on this for a long time, guys, exposing Obama for all his 923 executive orders. And I've been on this path for a long time. Of pointing out, be not partakers, Ephesians 5, of their unfruitful works of darkness, yet expose them. I can't control this, guys. I'll never stop doing this. I will not stop. I'm going to keep serving the Father. This isn't about me. So if you want to help this situation, best thing I can do is start calling somebody, start sharing somebody, start getting this out. I'm not going to stop doing this. And as mountains and mountains and mountains and mountains and mountains of hours pile up, all of these live streams are going to have to be gone through as evidence. So that's why I say these are evidentiary streams, where I'm documenting how many times have I said I've called, how many, guys, this is insanity, but it's by the will of the Father. And I'm sure when he wants them to say, okay, there's Elijah's things, I'm not going to stop. I do believe that there's one person, not by vengeance. I'm pretty upset about this town. I really am, guys. And my son is kind of like, why isn't Roy and Solberg being talked about, Dad? He's the one who didn't put any of this on my report. I was there talking to Ryan, and Kresha Brunsman was in the same thing about these hours. And Kresha's like, he's right there, or whatever. They don't care to listen to Elijah or help him. The whole setting up of probation is to assess the risk to reoffend, lower and help them to get off probation. There's no reason Kresha Brunsman should be at the head of probation. She ain't called me back. I've already talked to her about the whole situation. She threw Elijah in jail and gave him the max sentence she could. There's a personal vendetta. Probation. These people are criminal. He goes over there. Oh, what is he? You think he's going to be safe over here, Tracy? We're all on the same team. We're all criminals. We're all in cahoots. Cahoots. Everybody's in cahoots. We're all in the system. It don't matter. We serve the beast, so we don't care. Yeah, right. You tell me that law enforcement officer cared when he called here. Why didn't he even ask how Adriana's doing? Go home, Sam Birch, if you're still watching this. I told you when you came up, why are you still on duty? Why are you still working? You need to go home, dude. You're a failure. You failed this community. So I'm not personally after you. I'm just trying to be professional. Remember when you came to my house and the first thing out of my mouth that says, I don't respect people who don't do their job. Yeah, no, remember, you don't, you are a public servant. You're just a deputy. You're not elected official. You're not, say, you don't have any authority over me. You don't. So please remember, you serve me. You're a public servant. So keep that in mind as we have this conversation. I already said, don't so send you guys out here, you clowns, you thugs, you jackboot thugs going out and extorting people under capital letter law. You know, I don't respect you because during the virus, you didn't stand up. Well, we didn't work during the virus. Well, how come you ain't talking to these jackboot thugs that you work with? Well, how the hell did we fail this? Hey, man, we're the law. We need to go out. We are the law. Let's figure out this capital letter law. We're like supposed to be the law. People used to look up to, people wanted to be police officers and people looked up to the law because they were, remember, they were still enforcing capital letter law, jackboot thugs. But people did kind of because they kind of served in a capacity. They serve the state. Did you hear the idiocracy of the sergeant out here when I told him you serve the state? I was talking about the social pyramid, guys. No, I work for the county. See, he doesn't serve the people, right? Individual, community, state. Very basic. So he's supposed to be in the field of law enforcement. This is you guys, they're just a bunch of bumbling idiots, thugs. They don't care about anything but their money to road raiders, feeding they don't work for the people. They work for oh no, I work for when I said he worked for the state, he fell for it. He said, no, I work for the people. He said, no, I work for the county. Tom, they can easily sue you, remember? Already on that traffic stop for your bond, you made me surrender my ID when I had committed a crime. You didn't have reasonable articulate suspicion that I'd committed a crime. You can't accost me to begin with. My natural right to travel, the right to, is covered under my Fourth Amendment. Remember the 14th, the 12th, these are all part of this, whether it's houses, papers, persons, and effects, warrantless search or seizure. Said that's why they can't come in here, guys, because they know it's unwarranted. But this is what's protected under the natural law, and they've gone away. That's what they enforce on you. All this other, the Constitution was protected law that was supposed to protect the inalienable. It didn't matter if you're religious. It didn't even matter if you were a citizen in this country. It covered you if you were here, the right of the land. These are natural rights, brothers and sisters. And I do believe that, and I'm not saying that's why they can't been able to encroach in here. Because I'm asserting, and I've always asserted my natural, eternal rights. I'm eternal. There's things that have always been. It's the law of the land, brothers and sisters. And they know that. And I don't know. I'm just telling you. I want you to understand that there is protection. If you'll go by the law, you'll be judged. That shall be judged. That means you're going to be judged by the law that you go by. So they don't have authority over a man to the land and soil. I'm not a corporation. You can't assert a corporate law on a man that doesn't, they have to like trick you guys, kind of like let you in. No. And if they do, you stand and go, okay, I'm wrongfully, and you stand on your rights. You don't fear the flesh. You be persecuted because that's what's supposed to happen. We wrestle not against flesh. You don't scare me. Lane County, Lake County sheriffs. You're known for, I think Tom's partners, 2 people disappeared out here, guys. There's a story out here right on its own. And you, Tracy, shut up, dude. You got to know when to stop. I'm not going to stop. Tom, there was once Tom, one of his partners, guys, there were 2 murders out here that were involved with some law enforcement officers out here. We think it's because somebody was exposing Tom with this airport and the methamphetamines and the thuggery. And it's filthy out here, guys. It's filthy out here. Okay. So thank you, lady in red. I mean, it's known, it's here. I'm going to go paint these posts purple out here pretty soon, guys. The posts are about to get painted purple, guys. I'm going to have to protect my son. They're going to come in here any day, or they're going to stand down. What other option? No calls, no calls, no calls, no call. Oh, but they'll call my landowner. What in the hell is that all about? You hear me out, guys. They'll call my landowner, but they won't call Lily Frank. Hey, did Elijah? We need to get this guy off our ass. He's going to expose us all, guys. It's already done. It's too late. You've been exposed, Tom. I think people out here know that you were involved in that, and everybody sees you at the methamphetamine dealer's house. You don't go just there every once in a while. You stay and hang out there. Are you distributing? Are you doing? Are you using? What in the hell are you doing hanging out? And there's not, you guys, it's not that bad out here anymore, since some of us have been squeezing on them. Actually, just so you know, I'm making my town sound bad. It's the law enforcement that's bad out here, guys. It's the probation. There's some good people that are scared out of their fucking minds out here, these people. Apologize for my cursing, but I'm trying to put punctuation on this. You heard that realtor. He's been in business out here. I apologize again, but he said the people are afraid of these people, guys. I'm not. I have to martyr this flesh. If they take it from me, so be it. He's keeping me here now. I shouldn't even be here. They should already run down this illegal warrant and just shot him. That's what they're known for out here, guys. We got to get him out of here. My heart was broken this morning, guys. I told my son we're trying to keep the confidence level. I'm like, we're going to get him out of here, Elijah. We're going to get these 55 hours, you know, and we're going to make them leave, and we're going to stay here. He's like, I don't know, Dad. I think I'm going to leave. But, oh. So I acted like a baby, guys, and he broke my heart, and I left, and I should have stayed in there. And just so we're just a little struggle out here today, guys, because I don't want to go through all this, but then I had to remind my son and his wife and me that this isn't about us, and we need not let this to beat us down. It's hard out here right now, guys. This is a God's watching, so we'll be okay. I mean, I believe that God's protecting us, but there's a hard, like I said, it's hard to sit there and watch my son I will do whatever it takes to protect him. I will not let them take his life and throw it away. I don't think he can do another day in jail, guys. He's already done his time. He's gotten in trouble and he's done time. And now this extra taking his life from him when he's already done it once, he's young, guys. He's 25 years old. He lives in a crazy flipping world. You know what? How do you get ahead in life? What are you going to do? $20 an hour don't pay nothing. 30, but it's all taxed. It's all, you get taxed on the money that you gross your net. You go pay your gas, you get taxed. You pay your phone, you get tax on tax on tax. It's a hard world for these younger generations, and that's why I fight so hard for them too as well, because the world that they grew up in now is nothing like what I was in their time. It's just a completely, they have all the future generations, you know, all these last 2-3 administrations just sold them. Biden doing the same thing as Trump is doing the same thing as Obama. They're all gas pedal mashers on the debt, selling the future generations so they can have their luxury now. See, they're not putting their treasure in heaven. They're not. He said, if you'd be better to have a millstone tied around your neck than to hurt one hair on my sons of God, brothers and sisters and mother, those that are given the wings of the angel that flee to the wilderness of safety. One hair on my children's head, he says. You'd be better to have a millstone tied around your neck and to be cast in the sea, cause one of them to stumble, than hurt one hair on their head. So be careful there, Lake Lane County, and all you people that could have done something. You are breaking my son, and I'm tired of seeing he's trying to put the pieces back together every day. You know, I'm glad I have been a witness to being with him and we're separated, which I don't like, but he's had to go over there for his safety, guys. Think about it. He left this county. He's not stupid. There's some times, again, I want to give my son credit and listen to him. It didn't turn out so well for me, okay? But I know what I stand on as well. I know when the Ruach HaKodesh and what I'm led by, but I am. And my son's opinion counts to me. And guys, I've been a little overbearing out here with them because I've taken them hostage, if you will. I won't let them leave. So I've been a little overbearing out here with them. And I think it's wearing on them. But I won't let them do things out here I think that they want to do, but it doesn't matter what they want at this point. There's things that need to be done. And, you know, some of this stuff like my son, I think you guys, like yesterday, I kind of realized what it is that my son has been happened to him. You know, yesterday we ran all this over again and again and again and again and again to try to pull up these hours. And he's, remember, I'm had to take him back to that time, you know, in his life that he's trying to already move past. So I think I might have broke him yesterday, but what do we do, guys? We got to keep pushing this information out. Do you understand? We've got to keep making sure that the information is we got to keep them on their toes. What are we going to do? Just let them come in and run them and put them in prison illegally with an illegal warrant for his arrest? That's why I've arrested him and brought him out here. Okay, and I'm not going to let the cops do anything to him. I'm not a threat of violence, but I'm standing. I showed you, the world should see, and it's out there now, that I will stand in front of a bullet for him. I've done it. Whatever. It speaks for itself. This ain't about me. This is about the system that is corrupted and is enslaved my son, and the system needs to be corrected. And so I'm going to try to do a top-down cleaning house out here if I have my way. I can't do it alone, guys. I need the support of the media. I need the support of you. If you can, call others, call Lake County, call Lane County, and I'm going to keep piling on this evidence. I believe it's this internet that's keeping us alive as well, with all these calls. Only by the glory of God, this is the way he wants it. Everything will happen exactly. They'll stand down. Sooner or later, I'm not going to... yeah, too. But hey, listen, David, how about the people that have messed up in their life? Okay, now the country itself, all these people that are free, never committed a crime. Isn't part of this country too, though, equal justice? When somebody commits a crime, I'm not saying you weren't included this, I'm just trying to include all of this, right? That we need to take back our system. We live in 2024, and they're literally enslaving people who've made a mistake, who paid for their crime. This is double jeopardy. My son's case is 100%. I don't believe there'll be any issues that show that he has not served at least twice the amount of time, not including his hours, including that when they kidnapped him, arrested his wrist and his body. They won't look at any of the prior evidence and just threw him in Crescia Brunsman instead of calling Lake or Lane or Lily or Greer or speaking with Dan, Bud, or any of this stuff, any of this information that I sent her. She won't listen to it. She will not listen to it. She won't hear it. She just ignores it. Instead, it kidnaps him. Kidnaps him. She had him arrested and thrown in jail when I've already told her the evidence all like, how about this, guys? I mean, it's 2024. How about they just take the time, no opinions? I mean, we have technology. They can just ping his phone, right? All his hours they moved around, they know that. Don't act like they couldn't go back in the technology and know exactly where his movements and hers and this and that. So I know that my attorney, John Caligo, has called Lake County or Lane County Sheriff, and where Crescia Brunsman said he had 30 hours left on October of 5th of 2023 at 7:19 a.m., emailed him and said he only had 30 hours ballots owed. They now say he has 55. He's done more than the 55, brothers, sisters. I'm certain of it, but he has record. Now, there are some little discrepancies. Well, I'm going to show you and try to clear up that and I'm sure he's not the only one I had this discussion with. That's what I'm saying, guys. We're just going through all this information. I'm just wearing these two out here. But anyways, I'm not done until this is over with. So as we're running these numbers, guys, is it 160? Is it 180? Why did he have hours requested there when it's overwhelming? Remembering all this stuff from the past. Oh, I work with it. Oh my goodness, in my phone and right blood. It's just bringing all this stuff back up in his life that he shouldn't be reliving. He's having to go, and like I said, it's a double. So not only is he double worked, but he's been double worked in his mind. It's overwhelming. And so I'm not going to let this county, like I said, we can use technology, and I think that's what's going to stem this case. If technology can be used, and I'm hoping this will go national, and I'm hoping there should already be media out here, guys, that have been standing up, not standing off. Law enforcement, I'm supposedly, and I've said, I'm going to arrest him. I'm not going to let you accost his body. Your warrant is not warranted. It's illegal. And I will warrant, I believe his safety is more important than getting his anus violated. Man, but I can't keep his penis to himself in there because it's been a long time and Elijah's fresh or new or ain't happening. I'm throwing myself in front of that penis and that gun. I ain't playing, guys. The system is corrupt all across the United States. Every probation office after this case, I'm hoping it'll be this big, I don't want it like that. I want to help others with this case, guys. Everybody at both these counties from top to bottom should be fired and overhauled or investigated. Something's got to change out here. These people are afraid. I brought up a story where a lady picked up a clear bag in the store, had $4,500 cash. She didn't know what to do with it. She didn't want to give it to the store owner. She didn't think that would be safe. She didn't want to give it to the police at first because she knows how much of a criminal bunch of freaking thugs they are. So she put it in her bank account, separate from her money. She never spent any of the money, guys. She returned it the next day because they watched the video and saw that she had it. And she gave it back to them in the same denominations that were given to her. 6 months later, they arrest her and throw her in jail. The story of the cleaning lady who sold my car to somebody else, sold the other car that I couldn't buy on the other estate. They didn't prosecute her for this car, but the lady, Angela, who stole all my stuff, that Tom, who extorted her sister, well, let's call it, the name is Rebecca, I think it is, guys, been a minute, and facilitated she couldn't come back to that property and never get any of her stuff. All this is so huge, guys. These people are absolute criminals, and people like me don't normally come out here and stand up to them. People just kind of get out of the way and just want to be left alone out here. And, you know, with jackboot thuggery and here's my driver's license, just leave me alone, you know, and they get to extort and do whatever. Guys, they put her in jail. Like 6 months later, a judge signed off on that warrant. Same judge, I bet you, that signed off on Elijah's, signed off on that warrant, guys. This is just one story, guys. There are hundreds out here, horror stories of this law enforcement out here. How are they watching this, guys, and letting this continue? Why haven't they stood down? They know I'm doing this. They said they know I'm exposing all this. How has this even continued to happen? Because this is bigger than Elijah John Werner, isn't it? Like my caption said, this is much bigger than Elijah John Werner, isn't it? Now let him go, Lake County. How many times have I asked for peaceful resolution? I just asked you to stand down. I've easily documented. There should be no reason instead of investigating these things, I said they're calling my landowner that I bought my land from, guys, trying to pick and get some kind of, and he said they didn't know anything. They didn't. You guys, we showed you, and he said their people in this town are scared. The lady who I found her stuff that I said, Tom, she was murdered. I found out Tom was talking to her. I offered to come get her stuff back because the lady who the stolen car, hey, Tracy, Tom's going to throw me and my husband in jail. Remember that car on that deal? Yeah, the one that Angela said that I can't buy that one because it was part of your deal that you had already bought it. It's part of your being the cleaning service. You got a freezer inside or something. Yeah, she's throwing me in jail over this crap. The community's issued a warrant for my arrest, and they said that. I said, how's that? Remember, I bought that car. She wouldn't. I spoke with Angela. Well, yeah, Tracy, remember, see, I've been telling the whole time, guys, that this lady that I thought that was a missing person that I bought my estate from, I bought 2 estates, that this lady was missing. I thought her sister whacked her, dude, because they told me, no, go to that. I reported that to Tom. And then when she came to me and said, Tracy, this is like a year later, said, look, Tracy, I feel bad. Remember that day you came and I was the cleaning lady and your stuff was outside? And then my husband moved it over right over here, you know, in Silver Lake. And then I tried to get Tom involved. He don't care. Not when your son's on probation and you're like, what the hell is with this rapist? And, you know, I called the elected sheriff to try to get him come involved because I think this is something with these people won't even do anything. Well, I found out again that, you know, I'm going to Tom. You guys, this is going to come out that I said, Tom, she's murdered. Tom, she's murdered. Tom, I think she murdered her. This lady calls Angela. This is the one that facilitated this. But 2 estates that I bought. One was grandmom that died. One was the sister who was taken care of. She went into a care home for the last 6 months. They owned everything. Her sister wouldn't let her come back and get her own property. Tom facilitated that. That's why I kept saying Tom, and I didn't know. I thought they buried her in the back because come to be her brother. This is all documented too. Come her brother. I thought they were hanging on each other, guys, like they were had a physical thing. That kind of turned out to be her brother. I think they were both drinking. They were both, one of them obviously, I think they're from California, so I think they were something, I don't, but they were hanging on each other and being like physical. And I'm like, okay, this is a couple, whatever. But anyways, both of them said, don't go to the back of the property. Once I found out, once Christy, the cleaning lady, came to me and said, look, he's trying to throw me in jail over this car. I'm like, now, wait a minute. She said, I sold your car too, Tracy. I'm honest. I was like, that's all right, whatever. I said, my husband moved all your stuff sitting right here. What do you mean my stuff's sitting right there? It's all, nothing's been sold. It's all right there. So once I found out about this, like I said, I was on the hunt, and actually not until I kept sniffing, kept working. See, I won't give up, Lake County. I talked to the Morehouses. Uh-oh. There was a name I shouldn't have dropped. Uh-oh. And no, she knows her. That lady that you saying that you told Tom that's whack, that she killed her, she knows her. She'll know where she's at. Oh, really interesting. Oh, yeah, no, I just talked to her yesterday. What the fuck? She's alive? She's alive? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. No, I want to make sure. Yeah, the one that lived up there. Oh, my. You guys, when I was talking to, I don't want to say his name because I don't want to. They've been here, they have a record here, guys. Been here most longer than every family out of this. Is deep. This little country town, guys. We're not going to run from this. Yeah, she talks to her, and yeah, we'll talk to her. Well, she's alive? Yeah. Again, well, what's going on here? Oh, that wasn't good. That was, her sister was, oh my God, no. I said, see, I told you, this is it. See, not like that, because I said, there's something going on here. Their sister ended up fucking her. She wouldn't let her come back on the property, guys. She robbed her of her estate. They sold it for $359,000. She got a check for like $7,000. I got the whole story, guys. Then I facilitated and found my stuff and tried to give it back to her and said, I bought it, but it's yours. Come get it. I'll bring it to you. Hey, I don't, whatever. It's like, you know what? You come back here, come back and live on the property. Let's go after your sister, not by legal. What we'll do is we'll threaten the county, right? Hey, we want Angela brought in because you facilitated her to be arrested, and then you didn't arrest her for my car, and you won't even get involved in my state when I'm telling you it's sitting here right down the street. I need the elected sheriff out here. Tom's involved in this. Hey, lady, come pick up your stuff. I have a conversation. How? Oh, cool. It's still there. Oh, how do you remember all those things? I walked through your property. I bought all your stuff. You were a missing person. I thought they whacked you. No. Well, I understand. But I said, let's think about what we do here. I'll talk to you. We'll get back with each other. I think your sister needs to go to jail. She criminally stole everything from me. I helped her out on the first estate. I sent her pictures. She happy. The second, well, the cleaning lady, I don't know what happened. Guys, that car that the lady that got thrown in jail for or threatened her husband arrest, her husband moved my stuff. Angela requested that she pay the car off. She gave him a check for like $2,500 or something and gave them the money. She already got it, guys, through her labor. That's how they extort people out here too. Well, there's so much more. She paid the car off. The lady who wanted her arrested, who I can't call and get Tom or anybody to do anything about my money or my estate, which I offered to give back to the lady who I thought was murdered, I found was alive, who got stolen, who just is afraid of them, guys. She wouldn't even come back and she just disappeared, guys. She's afraid of she volunteered. I don't know if she meant to volunteer at the time, but she said, no, I was talking to Tom at that time. So I know Tom will have phone records. When I'm telling Tom she's murdered. How did she have contact with Tom? The whole thing is screwy, guys. It just don't make. How could you offer to get somebody back their stuff, which I bought, but offered back? Said, come back. We'll get. Actually, what we'll do, I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll put the county on front. Said, hey, look, you prosecuted, and you wouldn't even listen to this guy. His car got stolen too, and she sold it. And you prosecuted her for this, but you didn't prosecute her for that one. But the lady who stole his stuff, you're letting her call you and prosecute people, but he's calling you going, hey, what about my stuff? murder, 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 and you won't listen to anything he has to say? I reported this to Tom, guys. I said it on the live stream. I'm reporting a murder to you, Tom, and you won't. Well, we looked into it. We watched your live stream. You see the mountains. Guys, I got so much more. So much more. This lady, I contact, I say, hey, get your stuff back. I'll bring it to you. What do you want to do? Whatever. It's not mine. It's weird. It's yours. It's yours. You can have it all back. She's like, wow, how did you know? Jewelry, guys. I bought everything. I even with her and said, how much do you think it was about? And I'm not trying to go over like that, but she at least $25,000 worth of, I bought everything was in her house, guys. I thought she'd missing, went away, disappeared. Her sister just would not let her back. She used Tom to railroad her. And then Angela calls up, has the cleaning lady arrested, doesn't arrest for my car, won't get involved in my case, but the lady who steals my stuff can call in and get right away, have them jump. Why didn't they prosecute the cleaning lady for selling my car? I bought a Nissan Quest as well as the estate. But Angela calls in and says she stole my car. Then they go after her. Michael Taylor, the judge, has signed off. All these guys are all corrupt out here, guys. Signs off and has her going to arrest her. She returns it. She goes back and gets the car back. Says, hey, I'm having an issue with the county. I sold it to you. They all come back, guys. They arrest all of them. Seriously, arrest all of them, guys. This county is so freaking corrupt. Even this one thing, which I've been screaming the whole time, guys, there's documentation. This is a separate case than Elijah's, guys. See why I'm a pain in their ass? Because I won't go away. And so imagine that I find the supposed murdered lady that Tom won't. I went to his police station there and said, Tom, I want to know if this lady's alive. You're law enforcement. I used to be in law enforcement. Put out a 2-8, 2-9, put a bolo check up beyond, I want a death certificate. I want something to know her record of address or anything. Go in the NCIC and pull up all that. They have a different name, but that's, I'm a little old school, and pull it up, Tom. Oh, well, she's dead. That was already, Tom, I'm talking about the missing person lady that I bought the estate, not Mom. I know she's dead. I'm talking about where's this missing person? He was involved. That's why he just wouldn't say anything, guys. Remember, he was the one who facilitated that she couldn't come back and get her property that I had bought as a missing person. Angela told me, oh, she ran away. And showed I probate, and I was supposed to talk to. There's so much evidence on this, guys. The real estate office was supposed to come back and let me in 2 weeks after probate. I was going to come in. I did the first cleaning. I helped those people out, guys. I ran into them, a week or something, them having after Mom died, and they've been out here and they can't sell anything out in the middle of nowhere. I said, hey, I got some place to put it. Let me buy it all for one price. I'll help you out. I used to do clean outs over in Lane County, and I've done this. I'll send you pictures of everything. It's kind of, I got in front of the tech a little bit in front of everybody. Nobody wanted to go digital, and I was able to get jobs from everybody because nobody was sending it in. So we got to go digital on probation, guys. This is what's got to happen. That's how I was able to actually excel above everybody, not rise, but because I was willing to go digital and send pictures right away using tech. And these other guys weren't up to snuff. So that helped my business. Okay. So like I said, I had a business actually because I was a landscaping business and they knew I did these clean outs and left myself free instead of going and doing regular service. The county can call me up. Hey, this code. I say people are going, ordinance officer, this grass is growing. We can't get anybody to come out here for a week. We know sometimes you're free and you can go. Yeah, I'll be right out there. Bam, I'll be out there tomorrow. I kept myself free from that. And so a lot of the times they'd send me out on a clean out to go do and not rifle through all the stuff, have people make it, get it in, get it out, and do your job later. So that's basically what I did for this lady. I explained to her, I can let you guys leave today. I want to help you out. I mean, that sucks. Your mom died, your sister's missing, or whatever. Just let me help you out, So that's what got me into this, guys. And it was helping myself out because I purchased both estates. So again, the car, they bring, and Christy, the cleaning lady, buys the car back from Angela because she wants money for it, pays for it. There's record of this. Then she tries to request, okay, can I get the title for the car and can I come pick it up? I work for it, but I bought it. No, you can't have it. Angela donated it to the police department. You want me to keep going, guys? It's filthy sickening out here. Did you hear what I just said? The lady who stole my stuff got these arrested with his car. Christy didn't get her car back even after buying it, working for it, buying it. And then still to this day, I look at the lady and I see the frustration in her eyes, guys. She would easily tell a story out here on this one. There are so many. Lake County, Oregon, stand the fuck down. I'm tired. I'm demanding again. I'm making demands. I'm not waiting anymore. You're all coming for all your jobs. You're all criminal. You all allow this to happen within your system, and you keep allowing it to happen. From Michael Taylor, the sheriff elected, who's never called me one time. Do you not agree? If that is the man who is in head of all this, that none of this has been, and I've asked him to call to my house, don't send deputies, and they still sent Sam Birch and the other knucklehead who came out here, bumbling idiot, didn't care about, oh, your birds and your wire and your chickens and your blah, 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 blah. Get out of here. We don't know why we're here. Well, get the hell off my property. Then you're trespassing. You can't enter this property unless you have some purpose. Leave, you tyrants. No, I'm not going to help you with your investigation. Hey, hold on one second, guys. I'm talking to the camera. Hey, when these jackboot thugs come, you know, don't let them do this idiocracy. Do not help them out. Let them do the investigation and come to you with it. No, they're supposed to don't help them out with an investigate. They're just going to try to incriminate you, get evidence on you and throw you in a jail. Don't help them. Oh, well, we're investigating. Well, go do your damn investigation. Come back when you have something real. They shouldn't even send those deputies. I have record telling them, do not waste this city's township's money by sending deputies to my house. They don't have any authority. I need to speak with Michael Taylor. Remember Sam Birch? Hey, Sam, I need to talk to Michael Taylor. No, you're not talking to him. Why are you covering from him? We need an overhaul out here, guys, from top down. It's scary looking down this loaded gun, but I'm telling you what, I don't fear. I don't fear no man. What are you going to do? Take my life? The Father is going to hold me accountable for what I'm doing right now. I'm not trying to serve myself. I'm not trying to just serve my son. I'm trying to make sure back then he got equal justice. A rapist doesn't serve any time when he admitted to the crime. There you go. That man should have went immediately back to prison. He's a rapist. These teenagers were a bunch of teenagers. He's a grown man. My son, never did they produce DNA, witness, eyewitness, a stitch of evidence, yet he served 10, almost 11, a year in jail. These guys all admitted to doing this property crime. None of them went to jail. The rapist didn't go to jail, but my son did. That's why I know that my son has been mistreated since day one, guys, and it's because of me. But it can't be about me, and it's not about me. It's the fact that I've always said, if my son's guilty, give him the same time. I want equal justice. This is not equal justice out here. Did you hear what I said? We're going to arrest these 3 people who brought the car back, but they're the criminal who stole my stuff. They will not even call me about this situation that I've been bitching about and have documented evidence for more. You heard me. I've been reporting a murder to you, Tom. On the Mike audit video, we're watching your lives, Tracy. You had Sam Birch say they're watching the lives. That's why I got one call from the deputy. Why hasn't Michael Taylor called? Do you think Michael Taylor is getting briefed on any of this stuff? Yes, they are, guys. They don't want to see their whole sham department come down. It's got to go. It's got to go, guys. We can prove with other people coming out here in the news media that this place is, I showed you the realtor saying people are afraid, scared of these people out here, of the law. They're enforcers, all their code, they're afraid of it. They're thugs, and they got to go. That's what I'm saying. Either they go, I'm not leaving, or you're going to have to come take me, and I don't want violence. Don't take me. I try to serve the purpose of the God. He's not done with me. But I don't want that, but what am I going to do? I'm not going to leave. I didn't run away from this, guys. Actually, I ran and looked right at the barrel of the gun and said, come on. If you're going to do it, do it. Let's do this. Let my son out or just stop. You're tyrants. I'm not afraid to look at this, guys. I'm a freaking veteran. What else do you expect? And I don't like my tourist service. I had issues fighting the military for their injustice. Yeah, I did. I have an honorable discharge. I'm just saying. There's corruption in the military too, guys. I've always been a part of it. If I see something that's not right, if we're supposed to be enforcers of the law, how are you breaking the law? Hello? This is another evidentiary stream, Michael Taylor. You still have probably looked at this. How do these people look at this and never call, guys? I know that some of these people that I've mentioned have to be seeing these videos by now. Like I've called Kresha Brunsman, the head of probation. Kresha, let's get this taken care of, lady. You know, come on, you're the head of probation. This isn't going to go away. Remember me? I kept telling you to get it, and then you threw my son in jail. Now we're here. Now I've arrested him. And, you know, so. Anyways, I'm not going to stand down. You know, I know this law. I was a law enforcement officer, military, police, in the Army. So you're fighting with the law in the Army? I'm one of those whistleblowers. Hey, you can't be doing your job and being a hypocrite, you know? No, you know, you want me to back you up on a DUI when you're out there drinking at the bar last night. I seen you at the bar at 5 o'clock, you know, or 6 a.m. You know, out here wanting to back you up on the DUI. You drove home drunk from the bar last night, you hypocrite. I ain't backing you up on no standard field sobriety test. And I call out people like that, and they don't like it, and I've always done that. You understand? Even from my military career, the hypocrisy of some of the things that I've been able to point out. And it's always been a part of my life. So be not partakers in their unfruitful works of darkness, yet expose them. So because I believe that I have an understanding of this law, that's the only thing that's protected me. Judged by the law that you go by. So I thank you, Father, for keeping me safe. But please, Father, I don't know. I'm trying to keep going here for the bigger cause. But if I could get some kind of relief for Elijah, I feel like I'd be supercharged to be able to finish this battle, Father. I'll do whatever you tell me. I'll keep pushing. And I know that we need to stand up and be condemned for standing against the law. That's what you did. And they put holes in you. And they feel like they want to put holes in me too, Father, and my son, because we're pointing out the hypocrisy and the unaccountability and the corruption. These people are lovers of self. They don't love their jobs or the people, their community servants. They don't. Sam Birch has proven that. He never once asked about Adriana, her well-being. It's never been brought up. Not one time has anybody ever asked about that lady who's been put in the middle of all this, who worked 5-day-a-week job and then went and volunteered her time for a nonprofit organization to be called a slut by Lane County. Brothers and sisters, please help me. I'm wearing a little thin, but I'll keep going. As I haven't eaten, so that's probably what it is right now. I'm just feeling a little. So, I'm not going to let down. Who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves. Take up your cross daily and follow after me. It's habitual, brothers and sisters. I've been doing it long enough that I'm just going to keep going. Pace myself. Like Elijah's wife said today. Slow it down a little bit. Why are you cussing in here, gaming? You got a son that's going to prison for 5 years? Going to get ass raped by some man who can't keep his dick to himself there, gaming? You getting threatened to be thrown in prison after you've had to do double time? I think you need to shut the hell up and get the hell out of here. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Bye. Please leave, man. You're not standing up for people on probation. I had the law enforcement follow me back to my house with the lights and the sirens, and I'm not going to listen to them. I'm not going to let them kidnap my son again. This should be national news right now. So you're not going to get told you're an idiot and you don't deserve any of the swine, low energy that you have. So whatever. People are going to condemn me for these things, but it is what it is, brothers and sisters. Just stand up for what's right here, not sit there and play pitter-patter with these people. I apologize for my stream for thousands of hours, and they'll go back and watch it because they have to. It's all evidence against me. They could be calling these people, and they're calling my real estate company, guys. This is the man hours that they're doing, remember? They're not doing what they're supposed to be. This police department in Lake County is a failure. I don't think there's one good sheriff in this county. Michael Taylor is the one leading all these, and I've tried to bring him the corruption. He doesn't even want to call me, guys. What should I do? Just move away, find another county to live in? No, I love this valley. There's a lot of people in this valley that are good people. And I think if they got these jackboot thugs out of here, this town would come together. A lot of people just want to be left alone out here, guys, because they're kind of afraid. Like I said, they come out here to be left alone. But it's these jackboot code enforcement bull crap extortionists, and you guys, it's got to stop. And I put myself in front of this, and I will until the day I die if I have to. I got to stay on this. I can't come off this. This is what a man of God would do. He would stand up to the law because they had perverted it. Just like Christ said, you're forwarding my law. So maybe this is them. Oh, it's not. So I'm going to pause for 1 second. This is somebody who's in law, who has a prior background and has been assisting with trying to get over the news. All the news. Okay, that was somebody that's been trying to get hold of the Channel 4 News down there in Lakeview. Again, guys, I need this to go national now. I got to, whatever. I got to do what I got to do to protect my son. I don't want to invade them. This could turn out to be quite the long process, but whatever. He goes to prison for 5 years wrongfully. The judge that signed off on this warrant, brothers and sisters, is the same judge, I'm pretty sure, that signed off on the warrant for Tina Flowers. Man, this lady has been put through hell as well. I had to sit there and listen to this lady. I'm going to leave, Tracy. They're attacking me. I can't be here. I don't feel safe here, Tracy. I got to just get in my car and go. They about ripped this lady out of her freaking house, guys, over money she didn't steal. She gave it back to them, and then they arrested her like 6. What judge signed off on that warrant? I guarantee it's the same judge that signed off on Elijah. Don't think that judges aren't corrupt too, guys. It's possible, and I believe, again, in this case, this has got to be the same judge that signed off on this warrant. How come they won't? How about on the warrant for Christy, the cleaning lady, and her husband, but she won't sign off on, I can't get anybody to come out and go find my, you guys, the lady who I got her stuff back, she wouldn't even come out here and talk to me anymore. How can you imagine you got all your stuff stolen? Even, you guys, when I was talking to her, this is evidence, Lake County. This is evidence, Lake County. My conversation, I just can't remember her name for a minute, guys. I know it's not Rachel. It's the sister of the lady who died out here, okay? It's all got to come up in evidence. It's all going to come up. All this conversations with her, okay? With her. You said, I came to you and said she was murdered. Come to find out, she admitted in that phone conversation that she had a phone conversation with Tom. So Tom knows she wasn't murdered. How come Tom didn't say a word about her? How come Tom didn't say about a word about the missing lady? Because they're strong-arming her, guys. And she was so afraid she won't even come get her stuff. She won't even let me bring it back to her. She just dropped off like a lead weight. And my son, thank you, son. My son was the first one to pick that up. He's like, Dad, are you out of your mind? She's afraid. She don't want to come back, because I was trying to get her to come back here, guys. I was like, hey, let's get the county on front and say, hey, you prosecuted the wrong person and you're corrupt. So what we'll do is we'll settle with you. What we'll do is, Angela, you extorted your sister. They sold this property for $359,000. You got to buy it back. Your sister lived with your mom for like 5 years and took care of her. She went in a care home and you never let her get her stuff back. I want her to live in mom's house. I want you to have the whole thing back. Okay. What I'll do with you, I'm going to call her Rachel or Rebecca. Okay. I don't think it's an R, and I've been good with names. I'm just a little bit worn here, guys. I said, well, I'll get you back. I said, what I'll do is, if you're willing to file a lawsuit, we don't need to be they should charge her criminally. Do you guys agree that if she stole all my stuff, I bought an estate, I got the first estate, but she went, because I had to wait for the realtor, she had somebody move it. She took my property and gave it and sold it to somebody else. Either twice or would not. That's stolen property. I paid for it. I had a contract with her. It's known. I had my son came by that day. I had a helping mover. That's what I'm saying. Hey, how come they kept saying not go to the back? What's up with that? They were acting weird. That's where I kind of got onto this thing about this missing person, guys. That's why I reported. There's so much documentation of this case. Why would the missing lady, once I thought she was murdered, once I found her, who said, yeah, my sister stole all my stuff, and Tom was the breaker in between it, not come back and get her stuff? Because my son is brilliant, and he knows. He's like, Dad, she's scared. She don't want to come back in that county and be there, even if you got her stuff back. Because, guys, I was willing to say, hey, look, I'll squash anything that I have. I don't want anything. I'm just so happy and enthralled that you're alive. I've been telling the cops you're murdered. You were murdered, and your sister threw you on the back of this property, and there was some stuff back there, and we saw people. There was something back there, guys, because I called Christy, and she said, Tracy, there's a whole bunch of big vehicles out here. Like, there's an excavator on the back of the property. I'm like, what? Oh, good, it's the coroner. They found the lady. That's not what it was, guys. I don't know what that was, but there was something on the back of that property. Should be seen by satellite, what they got back there, guys. It wasn't the sister, okay? So I tried to offer the sister. I said, let's go after the county. They're corrupt, but we'll just make a deal with them. Show them we ain't playing. Let's get you back in that house. I'd sell anything. I don't want a dime. I'll come bring you your stuff back or whatever you want. We'll bring it back over there. Let's sue your sister because she stole from me. That's criminal. And this cops, why they don't prosecute her when I'm telling them she stole my stuff, but they prosecute the cleaning lady who didn't steal the car, then buys it back from them, and then they won't give it to her. And Angela donates the car to the county, the police department. Tell me that's not criminal alone. She paid labor and then car and didn't get the title, and then Angela donated it to the police department? Are you hearing this, guys? Are you freaking hearing what I'm telling you? They were going to arrest 3 people, arrest them. The cleaning lady who stole my stuff, she didn't. Her husband moved it, stole my car and sold it. She didn't steal my. She was told, guys, I think she was an innocent. That's why when she came to me, I said, Christy, it's okay. I kind of understand. You're caught in the middle of this. I don't know why you didn't come to me in a year. You knew that my stuff was all sitting over there. And I told you that day I know, Tracy, I'm sorry. I got a lot going, and, I'm worried. She's afraid, guys, with these fucking cops, man, to get them involved. Fears for her life. They were going to arrest her son or her husband and her and the lady who bought the car, but they won't want to do nothing about my Nissan Quest. Angela prosecuted her, the lady who stole my stuff, the county. She can call and get action. I'm calling, hey, guys, what about this? How could they be all involved in this case on one side, but they don't want to do any of this? I was willing to give this lady all her stuff back and wash my hands and say, you know what? I'd just love to see you back with your stuff on this property and get your life. She had to move, guys. Her sister just locked her out of her stuff. Tom facilitated it. I've got these people nailed. They're freaking pinned down to the, you know what? Maybe that's what's protecting me, is that I keep exposing them. It's like, once you get in the light, don't get out of the light, because they can. That's why I came here, brothers and sisters. That's why I'm not leaving. This isn't an armed standoff. I'm not. This is a stand up. We're standing against the law, and we could lose our lives out here, guys. I feel, and I love you guys, but I really wish this would begin. I know by the glory of God. I don't know. See how this is not national news right now. How we do not have media. Show them this, guys. You don't think this is newsworthy? You don't think the media should know about this right now? You don't think there should be people out here asking people out here in this community, maybe going and talking to Tina, maybe going and talking to Christy, getting their side, documenting all these people who are fearing for their lives out here from these thugs? Not going to stop. Stand down, Lake County. It's just going to keep spewing out of my mouth all of these facts, all of these piles of it. I don't think they even have enough to prosecute this case anymore, guys. Because if they have to look through my social media account, they're calling my real estate company that I bought this land from. This is how they're wasting your and the community's tax dollars. It's got to go, guys. They all got to go. They're all corrupt. This probation, Lily, Frank, made my son do sometimes 2 days a week color guard, making him piss test when he wasn't even have a crime that involved drugs. So filthy. It's police department out here. Are you hearing this, you guys? Anybody want to make a comment about this car? Why won't they prosecute her for my car? Why are they listening to Angela, the lady who stole my stuff? Are you guys getting an idea about it? I can go on. I have a man that was harassing me online, telling me I was a transgender faggot, getting in the way of my means of living. I come to find out Tom knows this guy. Tom does meth. So does Cole Bergman. So does Cole Bergman. They know I hate it. See, Tracy don't like that. His house out there, it's not a drug deal. It's not a meth. No. That's not what's going on out there. They didn't have anything when they called my real estate agent. Tracy, oh yeah, it's his house. It's been there a while. It's his property. He's been buying it. Asked him. They didn't have anything. Look at the phone conversation. This is the hours and the resources when they could be calling Lily Frank, when they could be calling and finding out, did Elijah do? Oh, wait, we're fucked, guys. This guy said he's got people he remembers in his phone that he did hours with. They can show that he was there. They can actually be a witness. Yeah, Elijah was there on all these missing hours he didn't get here. There's people, Elijah. That was a hard day for Elijah yesterday, guys. That was a super hard day for Elijah because I kept making him run through all this past. He doesn't want to live this, guys. He doesn't want to live this, guys. He wants his life. He already did all the time back here. That's why it wasn't mentioned until the last 3 months of his probation. They fucked him because they're pissed at me because I won't let up out here. Because I'm pointing out that they're all corrupt to begin with. I was on Lily, remember? What the hell is with this rat, Lily? What's up with this rat, Lilith? I called her Lilith to her face, guys. So maybe that's why she's mad at me. Oh, yeah, if it goes national news and Lilith gets caught up, it's not just me saying it to her face. It's me saying it to her on her messages, too. But I did have enough to say it on her messages and then say it to her face. Look her in the eyes and call her Lilith and tell her you're evil. What you're doing out here is an absolute racket. How many murders, rapists, people do you have released in this county? They're fishing people out here. This is the only one I know because my son's involved. You guys got a racket going out here. You gonna let a fucking pedophile run around and put my son in jail and still let him run around for a year? You're in on this. I got you. I smell you. You stink from a mile away, woman. And so do all of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to stand up. I've never bought property anywhere in my life. Ever. Once. You couldn't nail my feet to the ground. I'm better moving around. That's what I really wish I can do. I'm after whatever. That's what I'm saying. This could be my second and first and third home, whatever I want. You're not going to flush me out of here. Lake County Sheriff's Department. Even if you convict me now of anything, all this evidence is still stacked. There's hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, hundreds of people involved in this case. They can't afford this case now, guys. They can't. They're too much of an extortionist. They take too much money home. Even though this town is growing and there's a big explosion of growth out here, I believe they could do 2 cases a year. Nothing like this case, but 2, maybe a murder or something like that. And I know the funding in this county, guys. I'm on to them. I could do a request of records for their Freedom of Information Act on all their, salaries. I'm an auditor, brothers, sisters. I know I've been in law enforcement, okay? And I don't, all they would try to do is drum up a defamation, all of my character. You guys, they should be focusing on not trying to convict me, trying to worry about their own freaking jobs that they're all about to lose. I'm not going to stop. I might take a rest or whatever, but I'm building up. Like it says, this ain't the end. Tom, Michael, Lily, Dan, all these people have been involved. Yeah, you, Ryan, too. You should have been. Why didn't my son's action plan say that he had probation when he was transferred to that county? Because he completed it here. You guys are going to prison. Some of you guys, I think people actually do prison. I never thought about that, guys. I never thought about that. Because if this is bigger than this, guys, if this does go bigger, I think some people are going to be going to prison. They sent Elijah to jail and kidnapped him when I told them, if you'll just look in the hours, and they could have spent time, but instead, what do? They don't do anything but try to strong arm and prosecute, and don't do the littlest possible is what I see. So before I die, I hope that I'm a witness and that I get to be him, the Father, because of accountability, that the system I get to see, I don't believe in taking people's rights of freedoms, and I'm not the whole word freedom. I just need to say it, not talk about it. That people's freedom shouldn't not be completely taken away if they've been convicted of a crime, depending on, but everything they do as far as where they go, where they work, whether they're working for community service, road crew, all that should have been documented digitally. And it's not. It's mostly analog. It's mostly written down. And here is the criminal portion of the system. Imagine if you're in the system, somebody makes a little fudge here, or it can be changed in the system here. That it's not all blockchain digitally. There's too much margin for error. And that's why I don't think they can even convict my son now, because I have put way too much, reasonable doubt. And I know this is a little different because he's on probation, some of these things, and they just revoked his. But see, that's why I stood in front of that warrant and said, no way am I going to let you put him in prison when I know he did his hours back here, because I called Lake County Probation and asked myself, I can summons court records. And that's part of this evidence too, Lake County. I've been screaming that to you all along. Why won't you stand down? Because see, I think it is about a bigger cause, guys. I do think, and I'm hoping any minute now, I'll get a call from, hey, this is some news agent. Even so, we should have some citizen journalists out here, guys. This could go viral on the internet, this whole county, this corruption out here. It's from north to south. We go almost to the California border, all up in here to Central Oregon. It's a large county like Lane. They're both very large counties, and I believe they're the first and second, if I'm not mistaken. I think Lane is the first and Lake is, apologize for my Aaron demographics not knowing that, but I believe Lane is the largest. And all right, enough of that. So anyways, it's corrupt. It's the poorest out here, and they release more rapists, murderers, robbers, arson, into this county because they need the funding, guys. And the probation office and all these people have been using them as a racket. Like Tony Karsten, the rapist who got to run free for nearly 11 months as my son was sat in Lakeview County Jail. His commissary there, guys, this needs corrected as well. I need the correction. Please help me, guys. If you've ever had somebody who made a mistake and you got locked in the system, you're going to get extorted by the phone calls. But guys, they exist in there on commissary. Commissary is what keeps a man going in there, throwdowns, there's all different law in there, brothers and sisters. If you ain't getting up but a little envelope or something to write on, and it's not an easy stint in there, brothers and sisters. It's unless somebody's in there willing to help, and you got to do this. Commissary is what keeps a man like me. I'm active. I miss a meal, or I don't eat pork. Well, couldn't miss a meal. God, I would have to eat pork if I went to jail, huh? Can't miss no meal. All I do is read and exercise. That's it. That's people do these types. So if you're one of those, you need this extra. They keep you on borderline scurvy in there, guys. If you're just eating their 3 hots, no, they don't even do hots in this Lakeview County commissary consists of chips and candy bars. No hot, no beans, no tortillas, no ramen, no criminal. You guys, I called down there too, guys, and said, please correct this, guys. These guys, this is, county. This ain't prison where they get all their, Imagine existing on candy bars and chips as your commissary. Water, because they can't drink it there. It's just horrible. That's it, guys. That's their commissary, pretty much, guys. Candy. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Did anybody ever have anybody caught in the system, had to pay the phone extortion charges, but the commissary is what keeps them lifted in there? Imagine being locked in Lakeview County Jail for nearly 11 months, and I couldn't get him one thing of ramen. He don't eat beans, but beans, that's warm, warm, all these thrown at, make a jailhouse burrito. None of that. This place absolutely, this is criminal, guys. Not giving these people some, commissary. That's what I'm saying. The spread, throwing down all that. No spreads, no nothing. Think about it, man. No spread, yes. No spreads. Hey, throw down. All right, man. None of that, guys. And I'm sure they figured out their tag, whatever, but no hot spreads, man. Think about the morale in a place like that for my son to be in there for 11 months. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's criminal. I called up this. He said, look, man, I'm trying to tell you, I know I'm all involved with my son, but look, guys, You guys are keeping him in there. And look, man, can we make a change here? All I can get him is chips and a freaking candy bar. Oh yeah, that's you're gonna pay if it's $1 or something for a bottle of water or something, in there. You guys imagine that, and they don't do hot food; they do cold luncheon meat that comes from Rainbow. Some of the stuff I heard my son is questionable. They don't even give a lot of cold sandwiches too. You know what I'm saying? No, I forget. He's something like 3 hots or something. It's really bad down there, guys. As far as yeah, cock meat sandwiches, huh? Right, Jess? The meat sandwiches, right? Whatever you got to eat. Not that, right? I'm talking about bologna. So, guys, imagine that. That's what keeps you guys, again, and I'm not, they do it with the ladies too. Ladies need top ramen. I don't believe you should eat any of it, but a little bit of that and some of your egg in the morning, you save that, you wrap that burrito, roll it, and get some steam, put that on your, boy, that's, woo, fire, boys. You ever have a jailhouse burrito? Guys, they don't let none of it's crazy. It's insanity the way he's treated. So I'm not letting him go back there. Well, we know why they fight over oranges, Jess. For the bag. Anybody got any yeast from the kitchen? Oh, never mind. My bad. Apple juice. Here's another good one. Save that one too. But anyways, guys, I don't care about any of that. Guys, even just if it was ramen. My son don't like beans, but I like meat. So, guys, come on, man. If people get in trouble, they should be treated like this. So my son did 11 months, and this rapist gets to run around. The rapist in here, guys. And these other one were teenagers, guys. A grown-ass man who raped a woman and robbed her high on meth and did 13 years in Texas. And I'm telling the county, hey, you guys, this is unequal justice. I'm showing you guys that this is corruption from where Elijah's getting all this problems from. I hope you understand that what I'm doing here is evidence as well. This is evidence. I'm doing this to make sure that they cannot convict him of something that's illegally done. Now, double jeopardy. They really have I'm not even concerned about it anymore. As they continue to part their way from this, every day is going to cost them more money. As he's enslaved here and not having his life, a lawsuit is going to be filed. I'm going to sell everything I own, guys, to protect him and to get his life. And I don't want him not to struggle. I want him to struggle with daily cross things, but not with this bullet, this hammer over his head that he's had, which he should have already been released. That hammer should have been taken. He made a mistake. They gave him a downward departure. If he fucked up, he got 5 years. He knew that. I told you, it took me literally saying, I'm going to take your rat and I'm going to unalive him. I'm not going to let him run around. I'm not some kind of vigilante. He's a rapist. And you just put my son in jail for 11 months. And I told you the whole time, let him out. This is unequal. If he did the crime, let him do the time. But you got to lock them all up, man. I know why you're not letting your rat go. You lose your funding. I'm on you. You guys are extortionists. What you're doing out here is illegal. So this is why my son at 33 months, not in the first 33 months of his action plan did it say he had any probation, not at halfway at 18 months when he was eligible for early release, because he had gotten and went from a, felon on supervised probation to doing what he was supposed to, the whole time, not told to do any probation here, not to do any because it was completed back here, never mentioned on his action plan, which should all be digital, given a copy of, not this handwritten bullshit. These probation officers are criminal, knowing that why are they not bitching that this should be a whole lot easier? They know what they're doing. They're extortionists. I'm calling all these. I don't think a robot would apply a better AI, not an artificial, right? But advanced intelligence would provide a better, even the operators. Don't raise your voice to me. Quit interrupting me. Click. What the? You could actually get the answer without the emotion. A robots could apply better scenarios here, guys, for these people than these community service and probation officers. They're thugs. They're thugs, guys. They don't care. They treat these people like they're absolute dog crap. Somebody like my son has been totally hammered by the system, is made still to feel like he's a piece of shit when he's in the system. And even if he pays the price, remember, he's still got to put his head down because this isn't digital. He can't prove it. Go prove it yourself. That's what they've been telling my son. Go get your information yourself. The head of probation has had a call from me from Lane County that said, go get these hours, lady. I'm coming for your job. Eventually, I'm not going to go away. You can make these calls, but you can't make these hours go away. And they still have, guys. I don't know what they've done in their system because it says something he transferred with some hours requesting. That makes no sense. No sense. But we've hammered it down to, even though we're going to do double the hours, double. Okay, he had the 180 here. Let's face he got, well, they said he owed 133. So he did, again, all those hours. He did them again. Plus, they put him in jail. And there's so many unaccounted for hours, guys, which is crazy that they don't, you know, like I said, like Elijah over here, he had to go at least one day a week under Lily Frank. He was on supervised probation, felony supervised probation. You don't miss a freaking day to go get on the bus and go do road crew. That's what I'm saying. So this is what I'm focused on now. 55 hours is what the attorney John Caligo said that Elijah owed. I don't believe that Dan Bunn, because I have the email that says that his probation was already expired, or they'd already expired, and he was in the sheriff's system as expired. So his hours might not have counted. Bullshit. He had worked all those hours, and now you're not going to give him, say he's 55. I don't want to hear this, guys. He had already done them back here, and he'd done those hours. Even you guys, there's an issue with these hours about the response. Elijah saying, "Hey, these hours are filed. Okay, I need to know how many I got. You know, here's my hours." They're like, "You're changing hours over there, and you're not reporting your time." Look, first of all, they round up and round down. 15, 30. That is your own fucking fault, probation, because you cannot do anything digital or analog. You tell them to round up and round down, and everybody's time cards will be like that. That way, if they checked out at 5:07, that's it. They're not going to be able to mess this. That would streamline the system to begin with. You tell them to round up and down, so you automatically tell them to change the hours. Checkmate, man. Then I told my son that day to leave 3 hours early. They had already put their hours in for the day. It was the last day they could work. I called him and told him to leave. I did. When he found out, okay, again, that he had the warrant, he wanted to come out here, guys, turn himself in. I told him no. You know, I didn't know he was bringing his lady, but he did, and it is what it is. But I told him he needed to leave. When they wanted him to show up at 6 o'clock, when Mr. Bud, okay, I don't want to call him Mr., but when Bud got Elijah's hours, he said that it was already expired, okay? Elijah has been going and working all these hours. There's an issue I had him come on about the first day he worked. He did these 15-minute intervals. And he said, man, I need a full day's work. I know he went and talked with Dan Budd and said, and Dan made an agreement that we can work after hours, guys, and do more work. So they got way more hours in certain circumstances where they were not only working for the one place, but they were going and working somewhere else. You can ping their phones. This is 2024. This should have been tracked digitally to begin with. It's your mistake. I told my son to leave 3 hours early because I knew they were going to arrest him. They were trying to get him to come to a location at a certain time that was odd. My spidey senses, when I heard him say that the hours were already expired by Dan, they fucked him. They didn't give him his hours and they said, the hell with it, we're not giving him any. Because I think they say he cheated his hours. Listen, I told you he left 3 hours early because I told him they're going to arrest you, Elijah. That's what that is. Summons our phone records. You'll see. That's what happened, huh? That's exactly what happened. I told him to leave, huh, early. So, yeah, he put 3 hours on because that was his last day to turn in, guys, for the extension. He needed this many hours to count. They were all, I was in contact. I said, you better go over there and get a copy of that from him. They went there to him, Dan, and Bud, and he wouldn't even give them a sit down with them. Instead, he spread talked about their case right in front of them. Adriana was there too, guys. So remember, all these hours that they don't want to count for, Adriana was working for a nonprofit. I thought she was just hanging out and working with them. She was volunteering her time. These people really messed up bad, guys. I'm pretty sure we won't have no problems. And if we're discrepancy a couple hours, you're not going to throw him in prison over 5 hours when I know he served all these hours over here. How about his credit hours for 8 hours in confinement? He's supposed to get 16 hours. I got the paperwork from the state, and I had Adriana call around about all this about the county, about who and how these hours count and what the combine. This is not in lieu of your hours. Bullshit. He went in confinement. You arrested it, kidnapped him illegally when he'd already done his, and you don't want to give him any credit for time he's in. You guys, this is out of control. He would be way over. So even at this point, Elijah reached his cutoff. He had the hours to submit. They didn't even submit him from what I can see so far, guys, because they say he's 55 short. And I showed you yesterday. I didn't. It wasn't scripted. She gave me her thing. I never seen that. That showed all their hours that they had worked. I didn't know that she kept her own list. It was her own list. I asked to see it, and sure enough, it said 55 hours. So I can tell you that 3 of those hours they're unaccounted for because I told them to leave. They had already turned in their hours for the day, for the whole week. That was it, guys. That's the reason why they planned on being there. They planned on being there that whole day. They were both working, guys. That's what they're really screwed themselves royally over this because she was there with him too. So there could be all these other people who witnessed him there all this time. You could ping their phones and all that. That's what I'm saying, guys. I'm hoping this case will just completely blow up and become a national thing where they have to revamp all the probation departments across the United States of America and go to more of a blockchain, not to steal their freedoms, but to track and trace. They worked over here for the garden. They worked over here for Food for Lane County. He got on the bus. He went out to the dunes. He got on the bus. He painted the fire station. He got on the bus. He worked on the fairgrounds out here. You guys, he did so much work out here. Like I said, Lily was pissed at him because I'm like, what the hell is going on with this? That she was giving it to him, guys, making him do color guard, come in and take P test all the time on felony supervised probation. You're not going to miss no bus and not get on the bus, guys. Even if Elijah John Werner, this case is so much bigger than Elijah John Werner. Even if Elijah John Werner got on the bus 1 day a week, that's at least 160 hours. What the fuck do they say he was 133 hours for? This is criminal. This is criminal. And I apologize again for my cursing. I'm worn out, guys. I spent how many days, not one curse word, thousands of hours, but it needs some explanation. It really does. It's really criminal what's happened out here. So this needs to go national, guys. I'm going to be held up here. Standing up, not a hostage. I took him hostage. I won't let him leave the property. And when we did, what happened? So, hey, man's got to do. Are you just going to go let him turn himself in and go get, violated anally by some man who can't keep his phallic to himself? So, when he's already done double the time and that this lady criminally did. You guys, listen to what I'm saying again. I called Dan this morning. I've called the district attorney here. I've made sure that the sheriff has done how many, maybe 50 calls to the elected sheriff. I've called Lane County head of probation. You guys, I've called Mr. Greer. Can't remember his first name. I think it's Frank. He's the head of probation down here, community service. I spoke with Susie. You guys, I got all these calls in and they don't want to call back and communicate. Are they not at fault even at that? They don't want to communicate. Instead, they're going to use their resources to call my company that I bought my property from. Piles of evidence, Lake County. How many hours do you want me to keep streaming? What are you going to let me stay out here for? You're never going to be able to prosecute this case now. You don't have enough money. You're a bunch of scam artists. and maybe you'll be able to do 2 cases a year, and there's a lot going on in this county, and maybe 3 because all these, but I don't think you can even do this one. There's probably 100 people involved. If you come out and criminally arrest me for any reason, or my son, try to throw him back because of this, you're definitely asses in a sling. So let's just stand down and peacefully take care of this. Let's keep this out of the public's eye, because I'm about to get off the phone, guys, and start calling media. Okay, unless you guys, one of you 18, I can't, you don't have to, but I get off here and make some more. I got to get this newsworthy, guys. I can't just keep doing this. And I'll come back if I can get the news out here, but I got to start calling the news. There's no other way now. They're not called, this should be blatant. They say they're watching this. Tom said he was watching way back then. Sam Birch said they're watching now. So I don't know how this continues without one phone call. All right, Tracy Werner. Here's the deal, buddy. You could be facing kidnap charges for what you did out there. Are you scared? And we looked in your past. You've been messing with this thing. You want to go to Guantanamo? We'll just drop all of this. We'll do an internal investigation. We'll remove Kresha Runsman from probation. She won't work in there. And we'll do an internal investigation. Lilith, she got to go too, guys. Tom, think he murdered is involved with murder and methamphetamine. So we need to look at Tom. Sam, why are you still working? If you're watching this, are you still on, Sam? You were flicking your lights at me, Sam, and at the end of the driveway when I asked if you were watching it on your computer, and you were. Why are you not taking any of this forward? Instead, your department, was it you, Sam, that called the owner of the property that I bought this property from? Did you? How come you haven't called Lily? How come you haven't called the elected sheriff? Go, holy guys, we got our ass in a sling here with this guy. He won't shut the fuck up. We better go either run in there and kill him or, what are you guys thinking? What are you thinking? Why won't you do this peacefully? Why won't you communicate with me? Why won't I get one phone call? The only phone call I got, you just wanted Elijah to come turn himself in. Your effort, I just got on duty, but I was watching this. Well, what did you do? Did you just get on duty? Just doing your job? Just get it. Why did they make Sam do it? Why did they send Sam out here with that other bumbling idiot last time? When I asked for Sheriff Taylor almost a year ago. This is documented, guys. I keep documenting that I'm trying to communicate with the elected sheriff, the district attorney, Ted. I'm trying to deal with Lily. I'm trying to deal with the head of probation. All my efforts. So if they prosecute me on anything, guys, they have all this hanging over their head now. Because I was trying to, plea agreement. I ain't, Vic, you want to settle out? Let's do it. Make the call. You know my number. You know exactly where I'm at. You've been driving the state police. You've been using your binoculars. I see you right over there across the street. I see up in the hills, there's movement up there that we don't normally see behind us. I've been keeping my eye on you on Table Rock. Could you guys go up there? Why are you using all these resources instead of putting them towards calls? This could be resolved. Oh, it's because you're going out to the probation department. See, guys, I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm just speaking out in the universe like it's meant to be. Like I don't have any actions. I can't change a darn thing. God's in control. That's what's happening. So I'm not going to stop pushing. Not going to stop pushing. Not going to stop. He's watching me. He's holding me accountable for everything I do. I'm not going to get away with nothing. See, there could be some alternative motive inside here, right? That the world doesn't see. He knows. He knows. Can't hide it from him, huh? He knows our intentions. Yes, he does. Thanks for coming in, Carl. So appreciate this worldwide. Tell Carl that America is supposed to be a free place. You should see this guy getting railroaded over by this little POTA. It happens over there too in the UK. I've seen what they've done to your country over there. You guys that isn't the UK it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Your whole political system is in shambles. The same thing. The whole demographics over there of the changing of just the landscape of the, I'm just saying the European nation to now is much more Islamic or Muslim. This mass exodus of these it's the whole demographics of all the, even just UK, it's separate. That's on its own, and they've changed that, guys. They fly people in wherever they want. They do. It happened here in America, guys. It's crazy. I haven't even thought about all these immigrants that have come in here. They just hate us. They probably want to unalive us. Too bad. I'm trying to keep my son out of a prison so that he doesn't get, in the time that this happens, that he's in a place where, and I know God, if that's where he wants him to be, will put him. But God is telling me to stand for this man, because Tracy, they'll pervert and twist the law and try to change it. But you know this, so stand up for what's right. Just, if he did his crime and he did his time, then stand up. If he didn't, then make sure he does his time. Don't be people commit a crime. You have to, it's like sin, brothers. We have to repent and go through suffering. That's what being rebuked and repentance is. Okay. That's what I'm saying, Carl. Thank you. All right. I didn't want to say that, Carl, but I've been watching. Okay. I'm watching all this stuff. The demographic, they've changed here. They got like 30 to 50 million people that are coming here from all around the world, because we just go beat the snot out of everybody around the world and make them pay for our oil with the US dollar, backing it by the, the euro and all that. I'm sure, people in America don't pay attention to it. You can't talk about history, meaning economic. Oh, I don't talk about politics, Oh, Donald Trump, I don't talk about politics. Oh, you like Joe Biden? I don't like Joe Biden. Oh, you like Trump? They won't even talk to each other here in America anymore. No, there's no such thing as karma, Chronic. You're an ignorant fool. I'm pointing out and shining light on your pure ignorance. There's no such thing as karma. Grow up. Seriously, stop being childish in here. God pours out a just measure, but everything is after the counsel. He knows where the dice will land. There's no such thing as luck. There's no such thing as karma. Don't ever let that word come out of your mouth again. That's childish and ignorant. Luck, karma. Grow up. I appreciate your thing. I think people should have to adjust. He condemns them, so I'm hearing you, but I just want you to know, okay? Was that colonic irrigation? There's no such thing as karma. So don't ever let that word come out of your mouth again. Otherwise, you're just full leaf, and I don't want to have anything to do with you. I don't sup with vipers. I don't cast my pearls. You don't think that God creates all things? Please leave. Okay. You're the wise one, eh? A wise fellow. Oh, I don't have a record, you idiot. I don't have a record, you moron. Devil's an accuser. I don't have a criminal record. You just spoke out of place, didn't you? Oh, yeah, you did. I might end up with a felony after this, but I don't have any felony. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, no, I don't have a criminal record. I can go anywhere. I have a passport. People like this, guys, sheer idiots. You're the wise one, eh? Felon, huh? No. All right, bye, irrigation. There's no such thing as karma. There's no such thing as luck. There isn't. God created all things. So it's not possible. I hope you don't believe in all that fairy tale. Hey, come in here. Let me read your palm, and let me come in and rub on my balls here. Maybe a crystal ball here for a minute and tell you fortunes and the stars, and got a hot date, Tracy. Everything's going to work out because I can all this luck. No such thing as luck. God knows where the dice are going to land. Yes, he does. He's the one who made them land. So, all things, he says, I am the Alpha, I am the Omega. I'm creator of all things. I am the Hados, I am the narrow way, I am the Alati, I am the truth, I am the Horizo. I created everything that ever was, everything that's written, everything not written, everything that ever will be. I, God, create good, and I, God, create evil. I do all these things after my own counsel, and don't question him. He says he does it for his own pleasure. He's our Father. We're not supposed to question him. Agape, he said, love him. 2 John and 6. Well, guess what? I ain't some Pharisee with the dipping of hand washings, you idiot. B, you probably believe in water baptism, don't you? You believe in water baptism there, Joe, JDB? You believe in water baptism? Tell me what a baptism is then. Why do I need to wash my hands before I pray? I'm not under that commandment, you Pharisee. You twisted and perverted the dipping of hand washing, huh? Yeah. Explain yourself. Am I under that testament? And am I under those traditions? Oh, you're of the flesh, aren't you? You failed that. You don't remember the test, the will, the new. Is it about, it's not what goes in a man that defiles him, it's what comes out of him, right? What was that? Is that coming out of me? Or is that, what are you praying before you wash your hands? Pharisee. You're a Pharisee. You're a Pharisee. You like all that perverting and forwarding of, we're not under that anymore. None of those traditions. What do you talk about washing my hands before I pray? You sound like the perversion of the hand dipping in the water baptism and the, so explain yourself one more time, because I won't cast my pearls before swine there. Always have time to teach from people's ignorance. Try to point you back. This is righteous judgment. I'll let God condemn you, but we'll judge you with righteous judgment. Not one of these lollipop Christians. Don't ask no questions. Don't use a lexicon. Don't use a interlinear. Yes, dual, right? Read it in the Old Testament, Hebrew, New. Use that lexicon. Trying to work with you, man. Priest, beast. Okay. Yeah, priest. That's got to be the most blasphemous thing in the world, brothers and sisters. Let's do a lesson. We'll get back on here. A priest? A priest? Catholicism? Confessing your sins to a man? He said you can't serve two masters. Don't serve mammon and God. No, you can't. You live by the sword. You die by. You would be judged by the law that you go by, brothers and sisters. Careful. Many be fooled. Many will come in my name, saying they are Jesus Christ. More than one Jesus in Scripture. Many Jesuses. Remember, many Christ. They will say, many will come in my name, saying they are Christ, and they'll be deceived. They'll say I'm in the desert. Don't go there, right? Say I'm in the secret chambers, right? Don't go there. Christ in you, brothers and sisters. Apologize, my hand's been working out here. So moving things and doing what I got to do. So anyways, let's get back to the subject here. Always time for the lesson. This is a ministry, brothers and sisters. I'm going to continue to try to teach this lesson to people so they understand that it's suffering that we have to go through in this life. That is the resurrection and the rebirth of Christ. That's, he says, let no man steal your crown. And that's the inheritance you'll receive if you're meek, not weak. Meek. Well, that's repentance, Carl. He rebukes you just like you remember the Apostle Paul was a mass murder of Christians. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Hallelujah. Long suffering. And a Pharisee. And God rebuked his heart. So I'm sure his heart was heavy. But it was the gospel, going out and preaching the gospel, that brought him through. Remember, they even threw him off a cliff. Stoned him with 20 kilograms, you know, like bowling balls. Old man looked like he was doing 100 miles an hour going, you know, on a camel and hit the side of the palace wall. Every bone in was broken. He still stood up and he said, through much thlipsis we must go to see the kingdom of heaven, to be with the Father. Through tribulation, that's the word thlipsis, that's the Greek word. Through much tribulation we must go through long suffering. Yeah, I know it's not. They think everything is just forgiven. You have to be rebuked, and then you have to walk in repentance. You know, suffer for your, and then it makes you not want to do it and turn back, and then you're forgiven. Paul was such a freaking savage. Think about being 80 years old, being thrown to, like, I don't know, it was 20 feet. And that's what they did. Estonia wants them throwing some little river rocks at you guys. And that was they take you to the highest precipice in the land. You know what I'm saying? And they would throw you off that cliff. But that didn't break your back and your neck and kill you. Well, then they start throwing these balls, you know, I think like 10 or 15, they get down to 20 kilograms, like bowling ball size, and toss them down at you down there, and to finish you off. And they did that to the old man. He's like 80. See, a lot of the apostles, like Christ Jesus, he was 33 years. The Hamashiach, Shiloh, he was 33, right? Born of Bethlehem, David. So we know what we're talking about. Not this other Jesus, not this other gospel that the Apostle Paul warned us. What? I love telling Christians, they're pagans. Hey, you know, there's two Jesus in the Bible. They look at me like a dog. And they go, huh? Two Jesuses? No, there's not. Whoops. It's not in them. So brothers and sisters, again, please, this testament that we're under, we were warned, about, the Apostle Paul. He wrote how many books? Ephesians, Romans. How about Romans? I also did foreknow who I did predestine, Romans 8:29, to conform to the image of Christ. To conform to the image of Christ. I spoke on Enoch last night. I don't teach out, Carl, of the there's two Enochs. I hope you don't know. Two Enoch and two different authors. So there's not just one Enoch. So, but yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So, but look, we have Corinthians, Thessalonians, Ephesians, all the book. And that's okay, Carl. That's okay. You can get a kind of condensed down version of a lot of the lost text. They'll put them in a single version. I have it. It's very fascinating, Carl, but as long as you're taking up your cross and you're being condemned by the world, you're okay. And then you're adding to your faith. But I teach to study the interlinear Textus Receptus, study the canonized version. Interlinear means it's a dual language. It's written in the Old Testament and the New Testament, Old Testament, Hebrew, and then English, New Testament, Greek, and English. And then we study one word at a time. I teach people to kind of study a little bit different. There were words, or the reason why Enoch 1 and 2 were taken out of Scripture, there were two books that they were trying to remove at the last time of the canonization, where they brought in the Council of Nicaea, where they brought in 150 Catholics, 150 Christians, and they canonized this by definition, meaning they pulled books because they lacked the ability to go in and pull one word at a time and define it. Everything in the canonized version of the 6613, they were trying to take out Enoch and Revelation. Enoch and Revelation was the last two books they were trying to remove before the canonization. They were unsuccessful at taking out Revelation, the book of Revelation that was given to John at the island of Patmos, where Christ visited him as a messenger in Angelos and gave him first the letter to 7 churches, and then obviously all the other books that remained. They were trying to remove that in Enoch, and they weren't able to. They were able to keep that canonized, which if God wanted there to be 65 books, because people, 666 is the number of the beast. No, it's not. It's the number of man, you idiot. So 66, 7, 6, it's 66, 13 in the old or new and 53 in the old. That's what God wanted. That's what's in there. If you want to study what else is outside of the 66 canonized versions, I suggest you don't have to. You can just know out the gospel and take up your cross. You don't need, that's just adding to your faith. But if you want to study, you need to study it one word at a time using a lexicon or a dictionary so you know the actual translation. No, that is in your own head. Literally, you need to know the definition, and that's transliteration. There's a difference between translation and transliteration. Most people just translate. They speak in not the literal definition, not the aletheia. He said, I am the aletheia. So the only way, he said, I am the hados, I am the aletheia, and I am the horizo, the way, the truth, and the light. What he's telling you is that we need to narrow self. Self is translation. That's what we believe. I am the hados. That's the narrowing of self. I am the aletheia. See, you find that narrowing through definition. If you leave definition, you've left the aletheia. You leave the truth. Okay? And I am the horizo, the light. So the way to find that truth to him is through the narrowing of, who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves, take up your cross daily, and follow after me. So that is, I am the hados, I am the horizo, right? But through that, we must find that aletheia. That's done through the narrowing of self and the narrowing of translation. So we can define each word, knowing that what we're reading has not been perverted, twist. That's the Hebrew word to froward. He said, you're frowarding my law. That means to twist or to change or to pervert. Do you understand? Make sense? So that's what Christ had such an issue. That's why I made a big deal about this hand dipping in my hands, because people love to pervert. That's exactly what the Pharisees had done. They'd taken the 613 statutes, commandments, the law, and made an oral and a written law. And they changed it. And that's why Christ came back. He said, in your halakha, you've made it to where you put all these fields, or this is, if it falls off the back of the cart, it's supposed to be left for the poor. Now you guys have made up your own verbal, and you could halakha, you can speak it, but you couldn't write it down. And your Haggadah, you could write it down, but you couldn't speak it. You've perverted all these laws and made it to where all the stuff around the outside of these fields, somebody's supposed to be able to come in and glean. They couldn't take from the field, but they had the ability to come and glean, eat something, and then not take anything with them. And they changed all this. Nothing for if it fell off the back of the cart and hit the ground, it was supposed to be left there for the poor. I live in a farming community. There's stuff that's around the crop. You understand? Hallelujah. All glory to the Father. Lord, it's not me. It's just the teaching of history. So this is what Christ said. He's like, you're forwarding my law. You perverted. You've made your own law. You've taken and twisted my 613 statutes, commandments, and you've made basically your Pharisee, you big boy club, and you've got all this stuff that's supposed to be the poor, and now you've gleaned all this for yourselves. And he was pissed. He ain't this easy Jesus, brothers and sisters. That's not who the Hamashiach was. You do the works of your father, the devil. He called them out, those churches. These are the synagogues of Satan, the adversary to Christ. So he didn't come to make churches. He came to fulfill the law of the flesh, brothers and sisters, so that he can come and save all flesh from all houses, brothers and sisters. There is a silver lining, but it comes through suffering. It doesn't come with one sitting in some church pew on a pagan holiday or trying to worry about my hands being clean and before I pray. Stop it. Have a relationship with the Father. Go to a dark place in secret and talk to him so you can hear that still voice. Ain't no Jiminy Cricket. That's the Ruach HaKodesh. It had been there since you were born. You didn't hear it. You were a child. You didn't know you were doing wrong. But 1 second, something clicked on. Don't take little Jenny's bike. Don't take little Timmy's bike. Their father. Yeah, there he is right there. He's always been with you, brothers and sisters. Christ in you. He's not somewhere in the sky. Nuh-uh. He's with us now. There's no millennial reign. The Christ is now. Your body is a temple, Christ in you. The Apostle Paul told us that. We have an outer man, that is the flesh. Wrestle not against flesh, he told us, but against principalities. And an inner man, that's Christ in you, the one that cannot sin. He is blameless. He cannot sin. He tells you, stop doing this, stop doing that. This, I don't like this, like Carl said. He tells you what to do. It's beautiful, brothers, sisters. It's like I don't mean to be simple, but it's like a snapback, one size fits all hat. It adjusts to you. It tells you what you need to do. It makes you feel guilty when you know you should be doing something that you're not. Maybe reading the book, do something you should be doing for your, whatever he's got you building your ark in your life. We all got this special thing. You understand? That's in you. That's Christ in you, brothers and sisters. There will be no millennial reign of 1,000 years. He's going to put 1 foot on the land, 1 foot on the sea. And say time, he said you'll be changed at the twinkling of an eye, and time will be no more. So don't listen to this crap about pre-rap. The rapture is not even written in Scripture. Okay, that's not even a biblical word. But his elect will be caught up into the sky. That's why our lights are supposed to be, our lamps are supposed to be burning bright, trimmed back, because nobody knows the day or the hour. Headed in his direction, right? Having that extra oil, not being some foolish virgin when this all goes down, running to the frickin' store and the door slams right. He said when he returned, and it was be as in the days of Noah and Lot. They will be unaware. It will catch them. They'll be drinking and partying, going to buy a Tesla, going on vacation to Bermuda, just acting like it wasn't happening. Remember? And then it caught, bam, there was another door in their face, guys. That's why we are supposed to be wise. Have our lamps trimmed and our loins girded in his service until he returns. Maranatha, Shiloh is declared in the heavens. Let no man steal your crown. Our inheritance is on the other side. That is the gospel of Christ Jesus. If we are willing to go through suffering, who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves. Take up your cross daily. You can't set that cross down. It's 365-day Jesus. 7-day I am. OCD Shiloh. Hallelujah. I'm always on Christ daily. Man, that guy's always talking about Jesus. Not everything's about Jesus, Tracy. Really? Where in the word does it say that? He's creator of all things. Hallelujah. He sent his only begotten son to pay in the flesh, so we don't have garments white, without blemish, washed clean in spiritual blood. In the bride price, the bride blood he paid, in the flesh and blood that he paid to fulfill, not a unblemished, not a bone in his body broken, fulfilled the flesh. He always keeps his word, brothers. I'm going to leave this place. I'm going to go to where my father's at. The bride always tarries. It's a contract. It's a formality. He had to go to, remember, he was about, yeah, you forwarded my law. These women are out there selling their bodies on the streets. You have not given her a bill of divorce. You were supposed to go to a public place and nail that contract. Remember the Ephesians? Remember Colossians, the head of household, all this. This is the contract. You must go to a public place, nail that bill of marriage to a tree, to a stake, have two witnesses. Notice that, isn't that what he did? Isn't that exactly what he did? Isn't that what he did? He acted like that contract, a literal nailed top and bottom, and it had to be nailed. That's what he was saying. You're forwarding my law. These women out here whoring themselves just to feed themselves, that you have not gone back and given her that bill of divorce. You entered into a contract with her. I was the tie that bound you. You had to go to a public place and nail it top and bottom and have two witnesses to declare that's made it a valid legal contract. And she is literally whoring herself without anything. You're supposed to give her half of what you own, and you have not released her from this marriage. You had to go back to the town square and give her a bill of divorce. She can't even legally be married. Does that sound like your easy Jeezy? Little Jesus, your little one-stop shop Christmas Jesus. You're forwarding my law. You're supposed to give her half of what you own. You have made this where she burned the mutton and didn't bring in the chicken eggs with your perversion law, and you threw her out on the streets. If you covet another man's wife, that is adultery. Brothers and sisters, he made it spiritual right then. Remember the physical act, but because they perverted it, he said right there, he made changes to that testament, old right there in the flesh. Hallelujah. Remember the act of, remember that's what it was. That's the way, if she committed adultery, she cheated on you. She started going to Christmas parties and celebrated birth dates and Easter. Yeah, she's a whore. She cheated on his 630, he didn't want us to do. Oh, I thought it was well, that too. But remember, the cheating is on the law, brothers and sisters. When the sons of God came into the women of men, that's when Ahab married Jezebel, not aliens and all that nonsense. God doesn't want us to yoke with a woman or a man. He wants us to be equally yoked. Correct? Yeah. That's what this is about, brothers and sisters. Be subservient, because we are the bride, and he's the bridegroom. There's a subservience to our Father, right, who is sitting in heaven, where he is seated out at the right hand of the Father, who said, my Father's house is it's a mansion, it's a house of many rooms, and I will come back, I will prepare a place, and I will come back and redeem you. Paid for you in blood and in flesh. I nailed myself to a tree. I had two witnesses, thieves. I paid in blood, so you don't have to pay in the flesh, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers. I told you, he said, if you covet another man's wife, it's spiritual. Now, spiritual wickedness and the rulers of the darkness of this world. We are not under that law. It's fulfilled. Remember, he said he would be the unblemished sacrificial lamb. And when they came to kill him, after they'd ripped his beard out of his face and yoked him and nailed him up to a tree, nailed his feet to a cleat and stretched him back where the only way he could, not after they'd shoved a crown of thorns into his skull, not these little ripped every single beard out of his face. They yoked him. He didn't carry no cross. Grow up, study Roman crucifixion. He was yoked and lifted and nailed to a tree, like it says in the book of Acts. Cursed he who hangeth from the tree. When they took him down from the tree, they didn't hang him from a cross. He was nailed to a tree, forming a cross. He says, carry your cross daily. He was crucified on a tree, nailed his feet. The only way he could breathe was to raise up. Study Roman torture. Get your religious nonsense out of here, please. If something's in your head, this is study. Peter wanted to be hung upside down, right? How about, John was hung on Christ was hung on a tree. The Romans were masters at torture, and crucifixion was one of their favorite ways. You couldn't be a Roman citizen and be crucified on a cross. You understand? But they lifted him, yoked him, nailed his hands, and then nailed his feet to a cleat. The only way he could get a breath of air, brothers and sisters, was to raise up on his nailed feet. After he had a crown of thorns in his head, beard ripped out of his face, stuck, bled out like he was some kind of animal, blood turned into water. Remember that? Nailed back straight. The only way he could breathe, brothers and sisters, when they crucify you, the only way you could breathe was to raise up to get air into your lungs, brothers and sisters. Your feet were nailed and your hands were nailed, so you had to lift up to get air because you were so stretched back to get air to come up into your lungs. So that was your... That's the only way you could breathe, brothers and sisters. They were masters at torture. And when they would come to kill you, they would break your legs. Then you couldn't raise up. I don't know hardly any priests, pastors, deacons, or reverends that even know how he was crucified. They think he carried a cross. Idiot pastors. I rebuke you. Idiot reverends. And there's only one reverend. You know of a man or a woman that calls them reverend, you know that is a Satan. There is only one reverend. He said that. Chaplain, deacon, I don't care what they are named. They're a wolf in sheep's clothing. If they do not know how Christ suffered, they put a king of the Jews over his. He was born of Bethlehem, not of Nazareth. And he knew that, and he shut up about that, didn't he? Brothers and sisters, the price he paid was not what people think. They do not even have any idea. You know what I'm saying? They have no idea what they did to our Hamashiach. But that's what's so beautiful is when they came to kill Christ after they'd already bled him out, stuck him, that Roman soldier, stuck that sword in him, right? Shoved a crown of thorns so big into his skull, ripped his beard out of his face, nailed his hands and feet, stretched him back. The only way he could breathe is to raise up. And when they came to kill him, he'd already passed, brothers and sisters. Hallelujah. See, fulfilling the law, saying that he would be the unblemished, not a bone in his body broken, sacrificial lamb, fulfilling the testament. Brothers and sisters, what he did was beautiful. He hung there like a piece of paper. Hallelujah. It was a contract between the bride and the bridegroom. Public place. 2 witnesses, thieves, nailed top and bottom to a tree. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father, for paying that price in flesh, so we're not under that testament, for we wrestle not against flesh. It's a spiritual battle, brothers and sisters, that we're under. I think that's the only thing that's keeping myself and my son alive out here. The pain he went through, brothers and sisters, is a pain that we have to go through as well, though. But it's not the physical pain that we're under. It's a testament of our faith. Remember, he fulfilled the law. He said it's fulfilled. Remember the law of the flesh. It doesn't mean that those commandments there are voided of the old. We have an Old and a New Testament, but the law of the flesh is fulfilled. So all flesh could be saved, brothers and sisters. Not just the house of Aaron and Levite. You were a Gentile. You couldn't even get into the church. None of the laws, sabbatical laws, keeping the Sabbath, letting the land lie fallow, rest, right? The dietary laws, split the hoof, eats the cud, no, scaleless. That didn't apply to the Gentiles. They can do whatever they wanted. They were going to hell. God didn't love them, and they were Gentiles. That was 2 houses, brothers and sisters. The house of Aaron and Levite. That's why God had, he predicted 70 AD, that 3 years earlier, that no stone would be left upon another. And he was talking about when Nebuchadnezzar would destroy the temple, it would be turned to little gravel stone. And then they took the covenant, the Ark of the Covenant, where the 10 commandments, the law, the 613 statute commandments were housed on the ark. Remember, with the 2 cherubs on each side behind the veil. This was the temple. Remember, you entered the table of showbread, right? The altar of incense, the scented candlesticks behind the veil, that was all destroyed. The word was taken from us, brothers and sisters. The temple of the high priest was Aaron and Levite. You couldn't enter the temple. When that was destroyed, Christ in the heavens became the high priest of the church. But in spirit, brothers and sisters, right? Shiloh is declared in the heavens, correct? In the firmament is where it was declared. It said that the scepter, the one who said, no man steal your crown, the scepter, the one who holds the inheritance, he said, let no man, right? That's that's the inheritance. The meek will inherit the earth, brothers and sisters. We're not under that eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Now it's do not avenge yourself, let vengeance be mine, saith the Lord. He's going to test you. He's going to test your faith. You're going to put men in front of you to do evil things to you. Are you mad at them? Or are you mad at who's doing it? Is them doing it, or is God testing you? He's seeing if you'll go eye for an eye, go physical, go under that traditions, go back to that, not under this new spiritual, washed clean in the blood of the Lamb, not a blemish on you. You understand? That's what he's telling you. This is a testament of spiritual faith of your will, new living will and testament. Get it? We're not under the flesh. It's fulfilled, brothers and sisters. Hallelujah. We still have commandments that were under old and new. He one white, one black, one brown, one yellow, and one red was considered like 12 eggs to 1 dozen. That was all flesh. It's not just the house of Aaron and Levite anymore, brothers and sisters. Hallelujah. The coming of the king declared he would come back and save all flesh, brothers and sisters. The beautiful Edomites, devils, mass murder of Christians, a Pharisee. God chooses who he chooses to rebuke. We're all filthy rags, not one of us. The wages of sin is death, and we have all sinned, brothers and sisters. He's covered that. He is the one that has taken that place as the mediator, as the Father that's with the judgment, brothers and sisters. Think about it. I've really been studying this a lot. I know that our Father will be there to place that judgment, but he is there as that judgment to cover those sins. I told you, no, this is covered, Father. You said we had a deal. I would be there to cover their sins. They are mine. I chose them. I bought them. They all went through suffering, so I would pick them up and redeem them. I bought them. They didn't think they were saved by some man. I chose them. I rebuked their hearts. I called out to them to seek and cut off that idolater, the pornea, the serving of their self, the lovers. In the end of days, their agape will be idolatry. The pornea is idolatry in the Greek, brothers and sisters, the service to self. Pornea is the word idolatry. Latria is to serve. Idol or idol is what we see. To serve what we see are our eyes or statues. We're serving flesh or our eyes. That's an apostasy to God. He wants us to love him, 2 John and 6, and walk and follow in his commandments. Love is the word agape. The highest form of love for the Father is agape. Remember, he said, Peter, I'm not asking you if you phileo me, Peter. Do you agape me? I'm not these worldly things, these people, these worldly laws, and these things. Peter, listen, you got to rob Peter to pay Paul, brothers and sisters. Do you agape me? Do you love me? For we wrestle not against flesh. That's what Peter kept wrestling against, brothers and sisters. These things of this flesh. And remember, he denied 3 times. That's why he asked to be hung upside down. Dan, he still felt bad at his time of death, guys. Think about it. He wanted to be hung upside down. He knew he had denied Christ. But the Father, Shiloh still loved him, brothers and sisters. Don't forget, he knows. Remember what I'm saying? He knows who he chose. It was already purchased one time. He puts all of us through a narrowing of self. As long as we're on that narrow path, that still leads to that straight gate, and we'll be together on the other side, brothers and sisters. That is your family. Honor thy father, that's not your dad. Honor thy mother, that's not your mom. Your father is in heaven. Your mother is your brothers and sisters in Christ. That's who you be with when you come back. When you die and come back again, that's where your treasure. That's the gospel of Christ Jesus. Hallelujah. The resurrection. Let no man steal your crown. The meek will inherit. It's about inheriting this earth, brothers and sisters, to rule over this earth after there'll be a new heaven and a new earth. It's not somewhere in the sky. It's right here. We come back here again and 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 again. We never end. See, I'm not linear. I'm eternal. I told you that. You might have met somebody from the future, said they were. You might have met somebody, said they're from the past. I told you I'm from both. I don't ever stop. I'm eternal. My dad told me since I was a child. I remember about 8 years old, he started whispering in my ear every single night. It never ends, Tracy. I'm the only one. He didn't tell my other brothers. I don't know why. Still to this day, maybe. Well, I don't know. My father played Nimrod and died celebrating Christmas. I don't know if I'll ever see, or my dad, I don't know if I'll ever see him again. I don't think so, but I'm passing righteous judgment. He was a great dad, but you can't play Nimrod and, for all our growing up through junior high school and high school, and elementary school, and then die, you lose your life because you're trying to get ready for the Christmas party, and it kills you. So I don't know if I'll ever see my dad again, brothers, sisters, but it's okay. It's okay. It's like, I don't think I'll see my mom. I don't think I'll see her on the other side. She's a Jezebel. She is. She loves her holidays and her traditions and her flesh, and she just won't. I tried to show her the hathos, but she didn't. Not up to me to change a goat into a sheep, right? So honor thy mother. That's not my mom. My mom's a Jezebel. And I didn't rebuke her, but I just won't keep company with her, okay? He tells us we should rebuke people with, righteous judgment after love thy neighbor like thy love thyself, right? Like thy love thy enemy. So we give them the gospel, show them 2 times, and then do not cast your pearls in the mud, brothers and sisters. He's not required you to sit there and try to change somebody. That's not right. I do remember my dad telling me at a very young age, son, if you try to change anybody, you can't. That's not right, son. You can't change anybody. The only person you can change is yourself. You try to change somebody else, man, you're wrong. I'm telling you right now, you can't change anybody in this world. Don't go out trying to try to change the world, get all the answers. I wasn't really trying to change people. It just inspired something in me. But I'm glad that I have that as my upbringing, because I know that we can't make people. I, unfortunately, in this situation, guys, I'm having to force this young man and this one woman to stay here and kind of cost them. And I don't like doing it, because I know that it's right and the righteous thing to do to keep him from being wrongfully imprisoned. So many were. So if we're meant to go, I've had that discussion with my son. If they put us in there, son, remember, we're not here. We'll definitely know that he didn't. Hey, what about us? Just like that thief on the cross, Elijah. Remind him, he spoke to him, and then he said he would be there with his Father in heaven. We can't remember and care who God has chosen to bring to the wedding feast of the lambs. If we're there to say just one word, son, that's not up for us decision. You and I could go to prison, son, over this. We're standing up to a huge system. And if they lock us up and we both find ourselves in our days both locked up, son, please don't forget what we were here to do. I know you're going to be pissed off, you're going to hate it in there, but you serve a purpose. There might be just one person in their lives that needs to hear the word of God. I got it, Dad. I understand, Dad. You should have seen his heart settled. He knew. You know what I'm saying? He knew. If that's what God is meant for us to do, we'll both go sit in prison. And like I said, guy, who are we to know? Like the thief on the cross, guys. It's that moment. It could just be that. Who are we to know when he takes who? So if you ask me, he's being very patient. I look around the world, it's out of control. How is it still going? God's being very patient, brothers and sisters, if you ask me. Name anywhere you go to church that you could really get the gospel. Name people in public who care about children dying in the streets when we've got like 8 families or something that own like 50% of the wealth. Oops, I think we failed. Time for a reset, but God will continue to show his patience and is merciful, and he's just, what a loving God and what a patient God he is to let it go this far. So I'm not asking for the end, and we're not anywhere eyes, but I'm just saying, when I look around, I see such wickedness. I see men's hearts that are wax cold, women and men's hearts that are just completely wax cold to the word, the great falling away from the word of God, the gospel itself. But remember, and I'm not saying that, oh my gosh, when one more person comes back, I'm just trying to show you his patience. His flock is small, oligos. So I'm sure it won't take many, but I'm not going to question his time, brothers and sisters. He does all these things after his own counsel and his own pleasure. So who am I to question? A day on earth, this is 1,000 years in heaven. Who are we to question his time? You know what I mean? We have to let his will be done and let his works in his time. His time is infallible. He pours out that just measure. It's perfect timing every single time. I love the word so much, brothers and sisters. It's the only thing that's keeping me going. Okay, so I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to make some phone calls to the news. Please call the news or call these police departments and tell them I'm watching this live stream, and please give that young man his life back and his wife. His dad is out there willing to put himself in front of anything. You're not going to stop him. I've been following him for a while, whatever. You can say whatever you want. Okay. So, I hope you see God working through me, brothers and sisters. I hope this isn't about me. I hope this isn't about Tracy John Werner or even Elijah John Werner. I hope we're putting on a bigger thing here, and God's pushing us to poor Adrian out here. Lady works 7 days a week and to be called a slut, man. These people have not been very nice. But it says, remember, you'll be persecuted for my name's sake. So thank you, you devils. You're making God's word come to fruition. Every jot and every tittle will come to pass for that great and terrible day of the Lord, brothers and sisters. That's what he said. Every jot. There'll be a series of trumps, right? The seventh trump, the seventh seal. That's that moment, brothers and sisters. Great for Holy Gas. Remember, flock is small and terrible for the rest. Great and terrible day. Judgment, brothers and sisters. Refiner's fire, though, that he puts us through these trials and tribulations so that when he puts us in that final fire, brothers and sisters, we ain't got no impurities in us. No air bubbles, no impurities. So he's beating those impurities out of us so that when he puts us in that final fire judgment, he's creating a masterpiece, brothers and sisters. That's you. If you allow him to push those impurities out of you, allow him to beat you, he's making a masterpiece. That's you. You are his man. He's going to call your name out, and everybody's going to see. Hallelujah. So make sure you let him beat you in case you don't want no impurities when you go in that fire, brothers and sisters. Let him beat you. That's why it's long suffering that leads to the Father, right? Hallelujah. What a day this has been, guys. I can't even tell you how rough this day has been. God has beat the snot out of me, my son, and his lady out here, but I'm not going to give up for my son. So if you can help, call the news. I think he's protecting us. There's no reason they shouldn't have come knocked in this door illegally because they're that big of thugs. I believe that God is protecting this place, and I believe that a lot of people are praying for his will. I'm hoping for his will, and I hope that's what he wants. Hope this isn't our will out here, okay? And he's keeping us safe out here, and that he will prevail in the end. And he's done, and he wants these people to stand down. They will. And I won't stand down, brothers and sisters. I'm going to continue to push. I think I found something else again that will work, and this will work, brothers and sisters. This will work. I feel like it's serving God if I can expose evil, because they're analog writing things down, and we live in an age where he has given us the ability to use these technical, like, you know, a gun could be good and bad. This technology can improve a lot of people. My son would not even be in this situation if the system was not analog and digital. I'm certain of it. They could not do this to him. So I think that's what's going to happen. Elijah John Werner would become case law, case history. We need to get this big, guys. I don't want it to go this big. I really just want to settle with my son and kind of fade into the woodworks right now. But that doesn't seem like what God wants for us. And I know I always have to serve a bigger cause. So let's be a part of this. Let's get this probation system set up to where it's all tracked and traced digitally, blockchain type technology, so that nobody gets missed an hour or nobody can cheat an hour. It's all done by, not he signed you in, not this is person's working. This is just the biggest chance for crime that I believe that's happened to my son has been committed. And we need to save people's times and not be save them, but from this tyrannical system that is allowed to. It's 2024. How is everything still written on paper, guys? Who does this? This is the criminality of the probation system. And I'm exposing it. And I'll give my life for any person that's ever, I don't care if they're wrong and they did something wrong. So what? If they did their crime, they need to be able to track. If they can't, they shouldn't be able to make him work one more second, guys. And that's exactly what's happened to my son. He's been made to work twice as much, and is still being threatened to be thrown in prison. It could be proven now, guys. I showed you that John Caligo, the attorney, found which 30 Crescia City had owed. The system says he has 55. We can show 55 hours, guys. I believe we can show more than 55. So they do need to stand down. Every day this continues, guys, this gets more expensive. I'm going to have to file a lawsuit, guys, for my son. And I'm going to help him with this, not to seek vengeance, but to try to get these people out of these positions that are just abusing their authority. You guys have called, and you've seen how poorly they've treated people calling. We've had people call from all over the world, both these counties. They've been cussed at, you know, oh, are you a slut wife? And they are just overstepping, defamation of character. It's hard to believe that it could be this cruel. This is just one place, guys. This ain't the only little Billy Bob town, but this is the hardest place to live in Oregon. I could just pick up and leave and go in another county, guys. I don't think I have any problems like I do out here. I bought land out here. This is where I want to die. You hear that, Lake County? I don't want to die here because you shoot me and fill me full of holes because you can't control yourself. Thank you, Sam, for not shooting me. And thank you for proving to everybody that you don't do anything. Well, you called, but you don't. You just want to get Elijah arrested and thrown in jail. You don't care about his wife. You don't care about anything else. You're a go along, get along kind of guy, Sam. You're just doing your job, right, Sam? Well, I just got on. We see you by your fruit, Sam. Please. Hey, Sam, you can be the other end. Sam, you want to join this team over here? Turn in your badge, Sam, and I'll let you inside this gate, Sam. Come on, help me fight this, Sam. Hey, guys, this is something new, this organic. Don't you think Sam Birch should turn in? I'll help you out. I'll figure out how. We'll get you another job. Freaking, you're serving a capital letter law, Sam. You're serving a capital letter law system in this town. Is maybe you can not save yourself, but maybe if you'll step down, as I told you, come over here and talk to me. What are you going to send him undercover and arrest him? Is that what you want to do, Sam? Why don't you come over here and turn in your badge? As I told you, you're a failure. You failed my son. You failed this community. You didn't care about his girlfriend. Come over here and join me, Sam. Maybe we can be the tip of the spear. Think about this, guys. Sam Birch, guys. Imagine the whole story. Boy, this would be a good story, wouldn't it? Ooh, think about any of you guys law enforcement officers that are listening to you. You want to come over here to the light side and get away from the dark side? Come out of her, my pigs. You're a thug. Sam, stop. Seriously. Why don't you, are you afraid, Sam? Is your money that worth? What do you, Sam, we can figure it out, dude. I got cabins out here, dude. You're negotiating with terrorists, Tracy. Well, if he'll turn from his wicked ways, I'd let him on this property. Sam, let's get all these other people fired. Sam, you could be the chief of police when this is up. You could be Sam. You could take Sheriff Michael Taylor's job. He hasn't done anything. Nothing. I've gotten zero from him. You at least didn't shoot me. Sam Birch for Lake County Sheriff. What do you think, Sam? You want to get all these guys that you work? You witnessed with your own eyes, Sam. Come on, Sam. No. Stop acting like you're some kind of god. Sam, humble, meek, and wise, Sam. Come on, turn in your badge, Sam. You had your chance, Sam. You showed your face, Sam. That's why when you showed back up, I'm like, Sam, why are you still working, Sam? Why are you still here? Why didn't you turn in your badge when I told you already, Sam? Turn it in, man. Come out here. Talk to me. Call me, Sam. You have my number. Call me, Sam. Let's go against this department. You could be the police commissioner. Well, the elected sheriff. I'll vote for you. I don't even vote, and I'll vote for you. You turn the whole system around, Sam, we'll take you. Sometimes the better person comes from within the, higher. Sometimes it's better from outside. But think about this, guys. Will this Sam Birch call me? All right, Tracy, I am turning down. I'll give you a show you. So I'm done. I'm done dealing with these. You're right, Tracy. I've been serving a capital letter law. I didn't know I was doing that. I learned. I didn't know that that capital letter is not them. That's their corporate. We're extorting their bond and their treasury using that black robe judge to broker these deals from the Queen. They don't give their allegiance to America. The corporation, Washington, D.C., to the Queen. That's what these black robe men don't, even a lawyer. You got to be careful with lawyers too, guys. They still serve this. See, brothers and sisters, will Sam call? Probably not. Will Gresha Brunsman, the head of probation, call? Will Ted call? I've called these people, guys. I probably have hundreds of calls now documented without one call back. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? If I can't get the sheriff, the elected sheriff, who has actually legal authority over all this, even the government, and get out of here, Bundy Ranch, he won't call me. Ted, the district attorney, won't call me. Ted was involved during Elijah's case. I've spoken with the district attorney before, and he don't like, but He won't call. He knows about me. I can't get Lily to call me. I've called her. I can't get Kresha to call me. I've called her. I can't get Dan to call me. I've called him. I can't get Lily to call me. I've called her. Yes, Tori, super chats are up. I finally got a deposit in my bank, guys. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. And it's not about the money, guys. I just didn't want anybody's money to go in. I think I lost a couple of the first month or so, those first couple months, but I got it. So the super chats are finally, guys, something yesterday hit my account. It wasn't a large amount, but it was something. So it's a start. So the super chats are available. I don't prefer the super chats, but I know, hey, Terry, thank you guys, because I didn't want, thank you. You guys are such a blessing, Tori, and Lady in the Red has been making sure that doesn't happen, because you guys are a blessing. I don't want your hard-earned money just to go to Google, or go to YouTube. So there are ways that you can, and guys, I tried to set up this buy me a coffee link. I can't seem to get it going, and I just want to give people the option. The channel is monetized. If somebody wanted, you guys ever heard of buy me a coffee? Have you ever heard of Buy Me a Coffee? It's if you ever watch Dabu7, he's one of the content creators on this platform. He has Buy Me a Coffee. The reason why he linked Buy Me a Coffee, now you could set up that it's $5 is the minimum, like Buy Me a Coffee. Or can you get a coffee for $5 from the coffee stand? Well, go buy some from the AM/PM or the little grocery store. It's not going to cost you $10 for a coffee, but you can donate. And the reason why he did this, like PayPal, because I have PayPal and Cash App, they take a certain percentage. Little less, I believe, than YouTube. But Buy Me a Coffee, all the money goes to the content creator. So if you want to support it, I just can't get the link. Guys, I put it in my description. Every time I try to drop the link, the URL, it just doesn't work. So I just throwing it out there. We're just going to have a little conversation about the donation buttons, because thank you guys. I finally, man, it took forever. And I believe what the final thing was, guys, is they had to send me something via the mail. And I think somebody said that the other day. It's Tracy's address. So somebody's been watching. You guys are a blessing to keep an eye on what I've been doing out here. So I really am not doing that, guys, to try to become rich. I think maybe in the last few months, maybe $200 or $300, but some of that was lost to the first month or something. I think that I didn't get, that I had to try to get it set up. But thank you for everybody who donated. And if I didn't get this set up in time, I apologize. I worked hard. It's not easy. When I deal with electronics, everything is difficult. My son even tried to help me when I went and visited last time, and he was able to put one of the links in the description. But persistence pays off, guys. There's a lot of things I've been doing in the sidelines, but I've got it taken care of, and I got something deposited from YouTube. So thank you for everybody who's helped out. So I'm hoping maybe sometime I can get that Buy Me Coffee link. If you do know a content creator and you want to support their work, that's probably one of the best ways, because they get all the money instead of being taken by all these little fees and stuff like that. But guys, thank you so much for not only the monetary help, but the spiritual and all the prayers, hopefully for his will, not for anything else, just for his will. Whatever he wants to do to us out here, I want it to happen. So please call your congressman, call your senator here. Let them know what's going on in Oregon. Call the news in Oregon, guys. Can somebody please start calling the news? I think this is serious enough. Say there's guys stand up out there in the desert for 9 days or something. The cops have been, all around his house, and his son has a warrant, but you give him a story, see if they're into it. So I got to go, guys. I need to get some food in my belly. I don't know what time it is, but I need to get some food. I'm a little bit down on the hours of sleep, and so it's just kind of wearing on me. If you want to do a donation to Adriana, who's lost her job, to help them pay for the rent, please put that in the description. If you want to donate to the legal fund, please make a note of that in the description. If you want to donate to the ministry, the links are there, guys. Thank you, moderators. I'm wearing a little thing, guys. I hope it's not, I don't know, guys. I just feel a little weird right now. Like, this has been a tough day out here for us. So it's so frustrating. Why don't they call? Why don't they want to talk? Why don't they want to negotiate? It's just, let me go talk to my son. Okay. I haven't talked to him. I've been in here a little while, and I'll make sure he's doing all right. Like I said, he's kind of we're having a little bit different day out here, guys. I just, Like I said, we know he's got the hours, but he's like, what about all the other hours? I'm like, let's get the 55 done, Elijah. It's hard. I think what we're on him too was yesterday, going all the way back to his hours. I kind of made him do it twice yesterday, guys, but he pulled up some things. He had to relive that time in his head. And I think that's what really, he just seems a little different today. He seems a little worn down. So please pray for the will for my son, that he's, yeah, no nap for me. I'll sleep at night. I can't sleep during the day, Dan. But I do need to get, I'm going to go get make a burrito or something, make a bean and cheese burrito or something, guys. I love you guys. You guys are helping keep us alive out here too. I really too, guys, I think all these calls have been helping. So I'll see you guys on here a little bit. I'm not going to be too long. I'll make some more phone calls. I got to call the news. I got to get somebody to get the news out here, guys. I know once one of these, it's just going to take one news station, guys, to pick this up, and it's going to spread. I just know it. I just have a strong feeling. So I wish before that time that happened, guys, they would negotiate so I don't have to call the news. Like I said, they can let somebody else pick this up. I'll deal with this internally with them, but they're going to have to communicate with me. And they don't want to have any communication. Instead, they called the company that I'm buying my real estate from. That's their efforts. That's what I've seen in the last few days, guys. One call. They place one call to me, which they try to determine, and then one. That's all in 9 days. That's it. That's the only communication I've had. I've done this for years. So, all right. Much love. Always agape, guys. Thanks for letting me bring you the truth. That's what I do. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not going to continue to stand by and allow these lies to cover the truth. I'm going to keep pulling them off and revealing it for you, because I am Apocalypse. It's what I do. Lift the veil, remove the lies to expose the truth that's been standing there all along. I am Revelation. Whoa.